Yeah, Prophet Marshall Occurrence. So, update, breaking. Donald Trump, down in Florida, they had somebody that got caught looking for Trump. Looking for Trump down in Florida. Looking for Trump down in Florida, bro. You know, situation was they looking for Trump down in Florida. And you could say this was an assassination attempt because this dude had a shotgun. Looked like a 12 gauge. He had a 12 gauge shotgun. And like I've said before, man, I'm not inciting nobody to go do nothing. But see, this is what I've been talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here, buddy. And you can't say I ain't been talking about it. People feel it's just easier if one person goes. I'm not inciting it. I'm not telling you to condoning it, like going out there or whatever, but I'm just putting everything in God's hands. That's how I'm doing it. And God gonna do it the way He wanna do it. If that makes sense. You know, but this has always been the case in many societies where people just feel if this one person would just drop dead. That's how I put it for me, so it don't send out the wrong message. If this person was just drop dead, you know, it would just change everything more better instantaneously instead of fighting all these little battles. Instead of fighting all these huge big battles here and there and over here on the East Coast, West Coast, down south, instead of all of that, if this one person just drops dead, maybe even die of natural causes, it would change this whole American community. Now, am I telling you to go out there? No, this is my freedom of speech. You know, this is my opinion. This is not a threat. This is my freedom of speech and my opinion, my perspective. That if one person just dropped dead, you know, it would just be a better situation. It's almost like we could get a moment of clarity from it. It's almost like we could get a moment of clarity from that happening. You know what I mean? Like this big, huge moment of clarity to what to do next. But the whole situation is with MAGA. MAGA's a nest of filthiness. You just haven't seen it come out. This was a white man that did this. This was a white man that did this. And it wasn't no black man. It wasn't no Hispanic or Latino guy. I'm glad they clarified it for his little followers. It would just be so much easier, man. And this happened while I'm fasting. What I want you to do is look, and I'm going to be tracking my progress. I'm going to be tracking my progress because every time I'm fasting, you notice certain things happen. I want you to take note of that. I want you to see the difference between when the prophet fasts and everybody else be fasting. You think it's a coincidence that I'm on a fast? It's not. I'm used to it. I'm used to this kind of stuff. You're just now getting used to my world, to where you see real manifestations. And this is what I've been talking about. We affect the real world. I can't stress that enough. I just said that earlier. We affect the real world. That's what I'm trying to show you. We manifest for real. It don't even surprise me. Glory to God. I've been in this position seeing all kind of manifestations. Now, if you go back and watch my videos, you will see I talk about manifestations all the time. We have real spiritual manifestations in the real world. All you need to do is go back and watch my videos, man, and it's so many manifestations. You know it's not even funny. We manifesting all the time. It's not a coincidence that I'm fasting and this happens. This is why I'm always encouraged. This is why I tell people I'm not being punished by fasting, if that's what you think. If you think I'm being punished or I'm tortured from fasting, I'm not. I'm so encouraged by the manifestations, I willingly fast this is why. What's the odds that I just happen to be in the middle of my fast, halfway through my fast, right? I got hours left now. I'll be coming off late tonight, right? I already got one day done and accomplished. The morning of the first day accomplished, the same morning, well, a little bit before the first day, because he was in that property about 12 o'clock. And so that was like 4 hours away from my first day being accomplished, right? Okay, so look at that. Less than a day and there's already spiritual manifestations. This is why I be on this. That's why I be on it like this. I already got my next fast already lined up. I ain't even finished this one. Now you see why I be on it like this. Because, let's see. I'm thinking about doing a 7-day fast. At the end of the month. I'm thinking about it. I'll play it by ear. But it's a good time because of all this stuff that's going on with Iran. So you gotta hit it while the hitting is good. You gotta get it while it's getting is good, buddy. See, right now, they got this war going on over there in Iran. And, they got this situation, this posturing over there in Iran. See, we need to be fasting right now. That's why I'm fasting right now. That's going on. And that just happened today. With this guy looking for Trump. He had a gun, so he got shot and killed. He aimed it at security, so he wasn't playing. What he planned to do, if he had a gas can and a gun, what I think he planned to do was start a fire at the property and get them to run out and shoot him like that. Instead of having to go deep into the house. They'll just be alarmed. They'll come out and he'll shoot them. I think that's what he was going to do. That's the only thing that makes sense. If you got a shotgun and a gas can, you probably was going to start a fire somewhere on the property so they will come out and you just shoot them when they come out. That's probably what he was going to do. So, but he was neutralized as a target. He's dead. He's in hell. He's in hell right now. The spiritual war is real, buddy. The spiritual war is real. Like I said, man, in my belief, it looks like it's just a matter of time before somebody is successful with harming Trump, because it's so many people. It's just a matter of time, it looks like. Now, am I saying it's prophecy? Am I saying it's definitely going to happen? No, I don't know. I don't know if it's definitely going to happen. but it looks like, with so many people coming out the woodworks, all various different ages, young, old. Read between the lines. It's a lot of people that's against this man. It's more than we know if that's happening. That's how I see it. And it's probably just a matter of time before somebody ultimately is successful. See, the bad thing about that kind of situation is when you're in America, in a place like this, you can't never be safe enough. There's no such thing. How he travels around, it's just a matter of time. If somebody really wants to do something to you, it's just a matter of time, man. And as they say, where there's a will, there's a way. A lot of people probably feel it's just, as far as the collapsing of this country, it's just way more easier when key people fall, for it to be chaos instead of fighting all these battles with these little roaches. All these roaches and stuff. It just be better for a collapse to happen if a certain person falls. Like if Trump dies of natural causes or drop dead, can you imagine how much the white America would change? The whole American community would change just from that happening. Not even him having to be shot and killed. Him just dropping dead. Can you imagine how much change? That would be complete change to the whole country. Just this one person. No more tariffs. No more crazy executive orders. It's just so much easier. And then the pandemonium and the level of chaos and pandemonium would just happen naturally. White America wouldn't care if he died naturally or not. They would just be mad that he's dead. A lot of white people would just be mad that he dead, even if ain't nobody do it and he just died of natural causes, right? If he just died of natural causes, let's look at that scenario. Let's look at this scenario. If he just died of natural causes, wouldn't you feel change would come out of that a lot easier than all these little tedious battles where we don't really get nothing out of it anyway? Wouldn't it be just more easier to just cause complete pandemonium with complete Trump mania would break loose if he just slipped and fell, broke his neck? Food poisoning, extreme food poisoning or something. Shellfish, bad shellfish. It would just change all of white America instantaneously. I listen, the jungle is a mother, buddy. The jungle is a mother. The one that you think everybody's preying on, man. Like me. Rises up out the ranks. And now people find it easier to create the necessary chaos by having a perspective that if Trump just died of natural causes, it would just change everything. That one person, not me, not you, him, If he just died of natural causes, bad shellfish, it wouldn't matter to MAGA, would it? If it was bad shellfish or some other way, it wouldn't matter, would it? It's gonna be pandemonium either way it goes. It's gonna be pandemonium either way it goes. So through history, I'm pretty sure that people felt the same way, that if this one person passes away, it will cause complete, total pandemonium. Because me, I mean, no one don't really know me, so all that would cause is cultural pandemonium, and barely that. No one really knows me like that. All it's going to cause is certain little whatever among whoever like that. So, but for sure, if Trump happened to have bad shellfish, that's how we'll put it, it would change the whole landscape of the United States of America instantly. Instead of all these tedious battles and all this other little stuff and all these little scrambling arounds of these low lives that are nothing, we'll just get them lost in the smoke of the pandemonium of someone like Trump passing away from shellfish, right? The gang stalkers would get lost in the pandemonium. You see what I mean? That would be kind of a perfect storm for to get rid of to make the gang stalkers get lost, because other things would be happening in the pandemonium and then a chain reaction of other things. Where's the gang stalkers gonna be? So it's just much easier this way. And I think history has always been like this. It comes a point in the jungle where certain men embody a catalyst of change. And no one embodies that catalyst of change no more than Donald Trump. If he just happened to die from shellfish or just drop dead of natural causes, I mean, he's almost 80 years old. How much do you realize it will be 100% total change in the whole community? It just will be easier because it's so much subcultures that would be affected by that would uprise, and militias and all different type of things that would just uprise, and they will all feel some type of way. Even though maybe he died of natural causes, they'll still feel some type of way. A person like Trump, if he passes, people will still uprise, even if he died from natural causes, just because of the loss. It would just be less laborsome this way. I don't know about you, but I need a break. I think we all need a break. think it would be so much easier. And I mean, the jungle consists of situations like this because lions and beasts, they prey. That's what they do. That's their nature. And soldiers prey too. I don't think in this moment in time nobody would agree with me more. It would just be more easier, way more easier, to create definitely a full worldview change, every type of change possible at one time. Because then from there, who would they put in leadership in America? Who would come next? If something happened to Trump, who would come next after that? Vance. Oh, I guess, yeah. Vice president would be next, wouldn't it? Vance would be next, huh? Vance and Trump are night and day. Do you realize they don't even hang out? You never see them together. You know what that means to me? They already done rubbed each other the wrong way. Think about it. You don't never hear him talk about Vance. They're not close. I think Vance done rubbed Trump the wrong way already. Why you don't hear him talk about him and see them together or nothing? Nothing. Vance is a night and day difference from Trump, and we all know that. He's a typical politician that just gonna do what he do, and he ain't gonna be starting all those waves in the water like Trump. And then so other things will happen because of that. See where I'm going with this? All America's enemies will have a even playing ground if Vance is in office. See, the pit that people dug for me, now it's being dug for other people. It's being dug for you. Because all that chaos, ain't no gang stalkers gonna be anywhere in sight, buddy. You'll be too preoccupied with your survival. I promise you that, buddy. The politics that Vance will have will be just politics as usual. It will be normal things, normal politics. Coffee and donuts at the White House, like I like to put it. See, Trump is no politician. You gotta remember this. I guess he just talked around in circles at parties so long, talking politics, that someone told him he should be a politician, a president. Trump for president. He talked around in circles so much, huh? You know the type. You go to a party and he's in the circles talking about these politics and that's politics. That's probably how he got it started, isn't it? That's how he got an organic grassroots fan base. The jungle is like this. People smell blood. Things change. People see the proper prey. Ironically, how people see Trump as the lion in The Lion King, it's not looking like that in real life. In real life, he's more like the prey. The most intelligent, like me, would just see it as just, if he just went ahead and went to sleep in his sleep, went to sleep in his sleep, it would just be so much easier for a catalyst, as a catalyst towards a different environment. Instead of 2 and 3 or 4 more years, 3 more years, or he might get a 3rd term. They already talking about it. Trump is not a politician. That's why people like him. He's just like me and you. If we was in the White House, if we were in the White House, we would just see all this power, these latches of power here, latches of power, just pulling down latches of power. That's all he's doing. He's pulling down latches here, latches there. Like Mr. Burns on Simpsons. He got all this power. Vance is like the little dude that's following him around all the time. That's Vance. He got all this power. And it's just like me and you. If we had power, all we gonna look at, we ain't gonna play politics as usual. This is why people like him. Because he ain't gonna play politician as usual. Because he's not a politician. He can't think like one. This could be a good thing or a bad thing. In this case, people see it as a bad thing. He's not a politician. He sees power. That's what me and you would see. If we was in the White House, what would you see? Politics, something you don't really understand? Or a whole bunch of power? Where you can do this, you can do that, you will understand that better. You will understand that more. It would be easier to just go along with the show using power. Instead of digging into all these politics that didn't work for America anyway, why not just come in there and simplify things and just bring about necessary change? It's not that simple. See, this is why people proceed with caution that are politicians. Because they don't want to put their life in jeopardy to bring about some change that no one likes. So that's why that's one of the reasons. You can't be a coward. President. You're going to get in there and realize, okay, if I do this, I do that, somebody might not like that. So I just play it safe and play politics. Just maintain everything and play politics. Instead of going out here and really trying to do anything, change anything. I think that's how most people feel. They get intimidated. Trump came in doing all of this in America. Now you see where it's at. And when the last time you seen all of this kind of stuff done? That's what I'm telling you, man. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, man, in America. Because that's how people gonna look at it. You know, when the last time somebody really just came in and started doing all this stuff? Now they over in the Middle East, change it, doing the board of peace and all of this stuff like that. And I'm really not hating. It's really nothing to be jealous of, to be honest with you. Not to me. People gonna look at the tariffs and even the global tariffs, the 10 to 15% tariffs, and even now that's global. From my understanding, it sounds like it means all the countries in the earth get a 15% tariff, every single country. Or maybe, because he already signed the paperwork, or maybe that means that he can just select, once that executive order is in position, now he can just select who he wants to put the 15% tariff on. But it sounds more like the first thing I said, which is this is a global tariff just covering everybody. That's what it sounds like. This is supposed to take place, what they say, the 24th? The 24th. So, yeah. So you're looking at what, like a couple days, or it might be the 26th. No more than 4 days. These tariffs are about to go into. These tariffs are about to be active. That's kind of worse. If it's the whole global community, that's worse. That's worse. That's everybody, literally. See, my thoughts are this tariff stuff is going to start affecting the economy. It's got to. Because if you don't really know what you're doing with these tariffs, right, eventually you're going to hit a brick wall. You're going to do something. You're going to trigger something to happen with these different countries and all these different goods and the combination of all these different goods and all this stuff. You're going to put the tariff on the wrong country at the wrong percentage rate, and it's going to cause something else to happen. That's my idea about these tariffs. Eventually, if you're just doing it heavy-handedly, you're not really thinking about this stuff, you know, and you're just taxing, you know, eventually, man, that's going to come back and bite you in the butt, man, because some things are unpredictable, and especially the economy. And if that don't fall just right, if that cat don't fall on his feet, listen, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. They say cats always fall on their feet. Well, we gonna see. We gonna see. Because that's global taxing the whole world. That's worse. It was most of the country, the world, but the whole world that's gonna be everywhere. All them other small countries that really didn't need a tax, that's gonna be them. See, what made the world turn on America was those tariffs. If you don't know, why a lot of people is feeling some type of way about Trump, it's because of them tariffs. The whole country, the whole world is feeling some type of way about America because of those tariffs. Yes, sir. Those tariffs is what's doing it. And guess what? I'm going to tell you how that's going to even out in a negative way. It's going to pan out because when America has a need to find, or they need information on their enemies, everybody's going to look the other way. When the intelligence community that America once relied on to find out what was going on as far as their enemies, everybody now is going to turn in a different direction, and they ain't going to pay no attention. My idea is because of Trump putting all the tariffs on all these different countries. Because the worst thing you can do is tax a country for money, to affect their money. That's the quickest way you can get somebody to turn against you. Besides death and war, money would be, some would say, the top of the list. Some would say money comes first. People be more angrier at you because of money than war, than shooting people. It's basically in the top 3 worst things you could do to a country besides war. So with that being said, what's going to happen as a result is going to be these other countries turning the other way when Trump and the Americans need intelligence on terrorists and enemies in general. People are going to turn the other way. When they do, all kind of things are going to happen that you wouldn't think it was possible. See, the Americans have been relying on the intelligence from other countries. That's what they've been relying on. They've been relying on other countries to know who their enemies are. So this is why they made the Board of Peace. You know what the Board of Peace is about? Joining alliances to make sure that America is informed of its enemies abroad. If you look at that list, most likely that list would inform America of their enemies, right or wrong. That's a way, after all the tariffs, of actually bringing all those countries back together. You see? After all the tariffs, right? After all the tariffs, we'll come back together at a Board of Peace. That's how Trump got them all back together. And that makes sure that they will have some eyes and ears out in the Middle East for the Americans. That's what the Board of Peace is all about. The Board of Peace ain't about taking care of Gaza. That's foolishness. I told you, smart people do one thing for more than one reason. Okay? With Trump, the Board of Peace is about having eyes and ears going ahead in the Middle East concerning the security of America. Because before that, it was Israel. You could talk about other people, but other nations, but no other nation was more of an eyes and ears type of community than Israel. But now that Israel is so reckless, I don't think they rely on Israel as much as they once did. So the Board of Peace is about joining together all these different nations for America's protection and to pacify everybody after smacking them around with the tariffs, to make sure they got the right nations on their side. Yeah. But it would just be so much easier, see, if that one person would just drop dead, right? And then, like a house of cards, all this other stuff just falls apart. See, sometimes in history, this is how it works. Because you already see there's chaos, there's confusion, there's things that's not working. Now a system is as corrupt as it possibly can be. And this person embodies that corruption. Some would say, with him being a felon and arrested, the first president arrested. I mean, let us not forget that. Let us not forget these things. Some people just feel it would just be easier. Everything going on in Iran, you know, America's going to hear back from that. That's for sure. Maybe not from the nation of Iran. Maybe not from the nation of Iran. But they will have their insurgents. Okay? So you got that to look forward to. As Americans, you got that to look forward to. And Trump is not going to stop. Trump is not going to stop, man. You don't know what you're going to get every day with this guy. You don't know what's going to happen next year. In 2028, you don't know what's going to happen. You got basically 3 solid years. Solid. You might as well say, including this year, of what Trump is going to do. We're not even halfway through this year. Mind you, we still got President Maduro here. We still got him here. Right? And you don't know what's going to happen from day to day, from month to month. It's from month to month now. So everything that's been done around me, all we're doing is sending that right back to the United States of America. All the witchcraft and the psychological games that they play with me, we're sending that all the way back to the United States of America. See how it's working? See how it's cooking? Do you see how it's cooking? See how it's cooking? Ain't nothing can stop us, man. We not worried about no psychological games. That's for children. That's child's play. All these little Chuckies running around the building, that's child's play, buddy. They look like Chucky, don't they? Well, I'm the black Chucky. I'm black Chucky. They walk around looking like black Chucky, huh? Looking like black Chucky. Listen, man, listen, bro. These little bastards look like black Chucky, don't they? Let me tell you something, man. That's child's play compared to what we doing, buddy. Literally. That's child's play. What you doing, throwing stuff off the wall or whatever little noises they making or whatever, man, you can't be serious. Do you see what I'm talking about? I am talking about real war. Keep in mind, as we speak, Iran is surrounded right now by boats, warships, carriers. You see the position we in? It's all working out. And you think it's a coincidence that they're fasting, sending $1 million to South Colombia, to South America, to Colombia? It's not a coincidence. It's not. I'm sending thousands of dollars down there. I just sent $4 million. $4 million. Wait for it. This week right here is where it starts. Wait for it. $4 million. Oh yeah. $4 million. We ain't worried about nothing. No psychological games. See, at this point, this is when you zone out and say, you know what? Psychological games, we don't care nothing about that, buddy. I don't. So it can only work on people who care about it. I don't value that. Doesn't matter. I know it's you. Doesn't matter. It's beneath my grade. That's why it would just be so much easier to get rid of these type of people that play those games with one person succumbing, right? And it would create the necessary chaos to get rid of those type of people. Because once the system collapses and all this fusion, losers and lames are going to be caught in the whole smoke of that, in the thick of that. They're going to be caught in all of this loss of Trump. They ain't going to have no stamps. They ain't going to have no strength to survive like me and you. You see how much easier it would be to get rid of the Freemasons and all these secret societies if just one person would just pass away. It would just be so much easier. Think about it, because you know it's going to cause chaos. It's going to cause the necessary chaos that we need. And ain't nothing going to do it better. Trump is the #1 president that if he passed away, it would change everything. Show me another president that would have changed everything if he passed away. Barack Obama, he would have had to been assassinated in order for things to change because of his death. But if he died, Barack Obama just died of natural causes. I mean, nothing's going to happen. If he just died from like food poisoning or some freak accident, nothing would happen in the world if that was Barack Obama. Now, if Trump passes away, right? If Trump passes away, it don't matter how he passes away. That's what I'm telling you about. I'm not telling you to necessarily like he go out and do something to somebody. I'm just giving you the thoughts that if he happened to pass away, his life, him dying by whatever means, would change the whole entire country. It wouldn't matter if he died from food poisoning. It wouldn't matter how he died, how he took his last breath. It will change everything. It would get all these roaches that are losers, all these secret society people. It would take care of all of that. All these ignorant black people, it'll take care of that too. Just one person and everything changes. It's just the jungle. It's the how do I put it? It's the nature of the jungle, man. It's just how the jungle is. It's going to survive. It's going to survive, and it's going to prey on the necessary component to survive. And in this case, in this world, I'm not seeing it's the necessary component for the jungle to survive. Some would say Trump is the necessary component to be preyed on for the jungle to survive. See how that makes sense? One component gets preyed on for the jungle to survive. Can I tell you how it's going to end? Oh, that's the part of my other message that I wanted to talk about from the other night. Some of y'all are scared to let it all fall apart because you don't really know what it's going to be after that. You don't know what's going to happen. Who cares? Who cares what happens? You want change. You want everything to fall apart. You want these secret society people to get what they deserve. But in order for that to happen, America has to fall apart. That's the punchline. So, in order to beat these Freemasons, let's put the equation all together. It would be easier for Trump to just pass away. The Freemasons will be definitely affected by Trump's passing because there will be so much chaos, right? Alone, just from that alone, all these secret society people will be so affected. Even these ignorant black people, we don't consider them alliances. My alliances when it comes to African Americans is the righteous African Americans. The righteous. No man that loves God can resist a righteous spirit. But if you're not righteous, how are you my brother? How are you my sister? You are not my brother or my sister if you are not righteous. You are sons and daughters of the devil. And I don't care what color you are. See, that's how you gotta be in 2026. All that color stuff is out the window. It's all about good versus evil. That's it. And you might have to go with some white folks until you get some more camaraderie among righteous Africans. You might have to get over there with some righteous white folks, or some righteous Latinos, or some righteous Hispanics. But we ain't gonna just partner with ignorant black people no more. That time is gone, bruh. We on the road, we doing good. I got numbers. I'm not playing with any dead weight. Period. If you want in, you gotta pay your way in. Just like the streets gonna tell you. You ain't gonna come over here for free. You wouldn't expect that from the streets. And you ain't gonna play the man of God like that, because I'm too sharp on my game, buddy. You gotta pay your way in, buddy. And if you don't pay your way in, buddy, listen, we don't got no business. You playing yourself thinking me and you together. You like a little teenager. This is child's play for you. This is a grown man's lane for me. With the results and numbers of a grown man. My son just turned 19 yesterday. I got a 19-year-old son. Imagine me playing games with Chucky-like little teenager-looking guys. You know what I mean? I don't have any time for it. I'm on my grown man thing, man. It would just be so much easier. So what can we do in a situation? We pray and we fast concerning Donald Trump. We pray and we fast. We don't use physical. We're not looking to use physical weapons. We're on the roll. Why would we do that? So we're not looking to even insinuate. Our position is spiritual. And God will do everything else. Yahweh will do everything else. Right? Our position is spiritual. We just have to put ourselves in the right spirit, in the right position, where your faith and your fasting. Because remind you, I'm fasting right now, right? And look at everything that's happening. We don't have to do anything but fast obviously. You see what I'm saying? This shows you we truly don't have no physical operations. We are doing everything by spiritual means. I'm just giving you an idea of what it would be like to have the end result be a passing of someone, and what that would do to this community. It would be so much easier for it to produce a chain reaction. You know what I mean? A whole chain reaction, a domino effect in the community. There's no better domino effect than what I'm talking about. So we bring it to God. And we keep our nose clean. We ain't gonna be sloppy like our enemies, making all kind of mistakes. Now we ain't gonna be no rats and dirt and roaches, putting STDs in people's body, just filthy, nasty people. We are going to be high class to the end of the world. So I'm going to fast. I'm going to seek God until God brings the answers. like we've been doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's all about patience. But we got to have our mind in the right perspective. We got to have our mind in the right position. Because me, and listen, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, and maybe you're not built like this, but my whole thing is this, man. Long as we get these Freemasons and Illuminati members up out of here, listen, man, I can rest. My soul can rest. I can go on ahead and go to heaven once these people gone. That's why I'm at with mine. Now, if you ain't built like that, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand. Maybe you got things you want to do in the world and do in life. But for me, man, at this point, I am completely consumed with getting these people out of here, buddy. And I'm a lot closer than they realize to getting that done. Like I said, with Trump, it would be a lot more easier, even with the getting rid of these Freemasons and everything, because once that happens, that's going to be a chain reaction to the whole community. A Freemason ain't nothing without networking. That's all they're about, networking. Networking, 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 networking. So if you tear down networks, plural, what will a Freemason be in the morning? Nothing. All we gotta do is focus on tearing down these networks, and a Freemason ain't gonna be nothing. You think I'm playing, don't you? So we gotta go all the way. See, Sun Tzu taught this in the Art of War. If we are not afraid to die, there is nothing impossible for those, and I'm paraphrasing, for those who are not afraid to die, nothing is impossible. We can go into the bowels of death and hell and win everything. See, with everything that they're doing, all it should do is fuel us to go the full distance to take care of this. That's all. Let's just go the full distance. That's why we shouldn't worry about what's going to happen. Don't worry about what's going to happen if this all falls apart and what will be next. Don't worry about it. We don't know. I don't know. But we do know if this falls apart, a Freemason ain't gonna be nothing. That's why we gotta focus on this, on the systems of America. Asking God to destroy the systems of this country. Because once those systems are gone, the power of the Freemason is gone. At least in this country. So, as long as we can get these systems right, as long as we can get these systems, listen, they ain't gonna be nothing. But if you try to fight every Freemason in the whole wide world, buddy, listen, you wasting your strength. You wasted your strength. You wasted your strength trying to fight every Freemason in the world. We're not trying to fight every Freemason in the world. They're not worthy to fight us anymore. Secret societies are not worthy to fight us, man. We going to fast, and Trump, there's an assassin down in Margalolo, whatever that is. You know what I'm talking about? Margalolo. This is what I'm talking about. This is why they can't stand it. This is why they're so jealous. Okay? This is why they're so jealous of us, because we really do manifest. This is why I take time to do this, to show you. Okay? The prophet is fasting. Okay? I want you to pay attention to that, because a lot of people can't read occurrences. All they can do is try to read people, but they can't read occurrences, things that happen in the world, and how they are spiritual in nature. The things that are spiritual, that happening right there is spiritual. And I'm fasting. Put it together. Because I don't fast. It may seem like I do fast a lot, but I don't fast every day. So I could have easily been eating and chilling. And that could have happened without me fasting. But that ain't how it happened, is it? It happened while I was fasting. And I'm going to be pointing it out. I'm going to be pointing out these spiritual occurrences every time they happen. If I'm fasting and something happens, I'm going to point it out to you. If I'm not mistaken, I think I was fasting when Nancy went missing too. See, all these things like this is affecting the morale of the community. And we need that to happen too. In spiritual warfare, in warfare in general, you must affect the morale of the people. When our enemies want to kill themselves, these secret society people want to kill it. Great. Say it like Tony the Tiger. Great. Great. Okay, we don't try to change that. We don't try to feel sorry for them. You got to put some iron on your soul. Don't have no compassion. Because after all, man, psychologically, they steady gunning for us. They're looking for any little shred of pedophilia in our minds, or anything questionable in our minds. You know what I'm saying? With that type of person, man, you step on them like a roach when the time comes. You don't give no compassion. See, it's hard for an American to really, one of your weaknesses is it's hard for you to give no compassion. It's hard for you to give no compassion. You give a little bit, you give in a little bit. Nah. Not this time. And they gon' listen, they gon' think you're bitter, they gon' think you're hateful. You're at war and they don't understand it. War is a consistent attitude. Part of it is a consistent attitude towards your enemy. And it's not hate. How's it hate? It's war. It's misunderstood by a civilian. A civilian ain't gonna understand war towards your enemy. That attitude to oppose, they ain't gonna understand it. Don't even bother. Don't even bother, buddy. You know what time it is, man. See, they try to find weakness in us, man. Listen, bro, listen. I already told you I've been around killers. Just in case you think I'm acting, I already been around people that caught bodies. I already popped that cherry, buddy. Yeah, I already been been around straight killers. You understand? Now, you on the other hand, who knows? I know my life, right? We choose to handle it God's way. See, out of all I've understood, the best way is God's way. It's working. And that's really the crust of this situation in video. It's working. The fasting is working. The offerings is working. We can't get stuck being with goofies. Like they would say in Chicago, we can't get stuck playing with goofies. You know what I'm saying? They goofies. The fasting is working. The offerings is working. Okay? And we ain't playing games with Captain Planet and Harry Potter. Black guy meets Harry Potter. Well, Harry Potter wasn't black. Black guy meets Harry Potter. Listen, man, I ain't playing no games with these black folks no more. Because I know, listen, buddy, you ain't got no love for other black people anyway. Listen, you done sold out to money and you ain't even getting none. You ain't even getting none. You done sold out for money, but you ain't even getting none. Oh, they promised you money if I died. Well, I'm not gonna die. That's over. I'm on a roll, buddy. I won't die. I can't wait. What's the day? The 22nd. 5 more days. I'll be dropping another LP, buddy. Another offering. Another spiritual offering. This time, $14 million. $16 million. See where we at? $16 million, buddy. $16 million. You thought we was playing, didn't you? See, but if you look at, listen, I'm gonna tell you one mistake you're gonna make. If you compare it to money in the world, it's not the same economy. What I can get done with $4 million in the spiritual world is like billions and trillions of damage. That's why things are happening. My money across the water now, by now. My money on across the water by now. All across the ocean. I'm sure it got to his destination. Well, it may take between now and a couple more weeks, right? Yeah, that's $4 million. You know what that can do in the spiritual world. Now, if you're a clown, you're gonna compare $4 million to billions of dollars. But this is the spiritual economy. This is the spiritual world. You don't need $4 million to change, to destroy. I'm not saying to work witchcraft, but in witchcraft, because I've talked to a real witch before in my life. I've communicated with a real witch. You don't even need $1,000. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. For people who understand prices on spirituality and how much it costs to get spiritual work done, right? You don't even got to pay $1,000 and you can get something done. You know that, right? Okay. Can you, not even 1,000. Now, can you imagine me doing $4 million on God's side? See, a clown is going to compare it to these fat cats sitting up smoking Cuban cigars with millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. It's two different economies. It's two different worlds. This is the spiritual world, which means you can pay a witch less than $1,000 to destroy somebody's life. You see what I'm saying? That's less than $1,000. One person. I have put forward $4 million on God's side. When you don't even got to have $1,000 on that side. So, while they might try to trivialize it, let me tell you the truth. People that's working witchcraft don't ask for no $1 million. Right or wrong? Okay, so, but they can get all kind of stuff done, right? Right. So can you imagine what we getting done with $4 million? Oh, I know I'm right, buddy. I don't talk about nothing I can't talk about intelligently, buddy. I don't talk about from experience or some type of experience or something around me. No. I talked to a witch before in my life, and she wasn't charging no more than less. She charged a little over $700 for what she was gonna do. No, not even $800. When I told her my whole situation. See, you didn't know that. That's why I'm not spooked at no witchcraft, because I done talked to a real witch before. A real one. That get paid for manifestations. Not someone who think they got it. Someone who getting paid for it. You can't spook me with that when I already done talked to a witch before in my life. You know, I just decided to do it God's way. At this point. Oh, you didn't know I talked to a witch in my life? You can't spook me with witchcraft, buddy, because I know the logistics of it. Once you know the logistics of it, you know what it really is and what it consists of, man. And it don't mean you're a killer. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep harping on it, because I know what witches really are, you know. And it don't mean you a killer just because you work witchcraft and rituals. You can wish death on people, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So, we're going to do everything, nevertheless, Yahweh's way, not with witchcraft. Witchcraft is a microwave fix. It's better to do it God's way. It's always better to do it His way over witchcraft, over using witchcraft. The best way is God's way. That's why you can be assured we're not out here doing no physical operations. We're going to do it God's way. And that's how you know I ain't using witchcraft, because I went into the conversation of it, the topic of it, showed you what I've done and how I'm not using that. But I show you how far I went to show you in that direction, right? Okay, so you can see, okay, obviously I'm not using it because I'm showing you where I went with it. I'm showing you what happened with it. You know what I'm saying? I decide to do it God's way. See, I defined how far I went. So now, once I define how far I went in that direction, now you can conclude that I'm not using witchcraft, right? I don't have to use witchcraft. I know something more powerful. You know what's more powerful? God's power, God's kingdom. And see, I'm proving that. That's something that's being proven. It's being proven. God's way is greater than witchcraft. He can manifest any situation. He can manifest anything. What we have to do is stay in position and be and fast and seek God. Give offerings. Stay in position. Stay clean. Keep our nose clean. You make mistakes, get right back up. Don't wallow. Don't even allow yourself to wallow around in mistakes. Don't beat yourself up. Get back up. You done failed before a million times. It ain't nothing different. Get back up and get back and walk back in your spiritual power. Because it's too late to have done it all perfect anyway. You didn't do this perfect. It's not about perfect no more. It's not. That's gone. You wasn't ever going to do it perfectly anyway. See these black folks bit off too much, bit off more than they could chew. Because whatever put that battery in their back, I mean, maybe it was the culture, maybe it was this music and these sports and everything, all of that together, and it put this battery in your back, buddy, and you done bit off more you can chew. You gotta swallow all of that stuff. That's what it is. Black can't beat God's kingdom, buddy. You tripping. Being black ain't gonna beat God's kingdom. And so you gotta sit down these Africans that think that almost like they can do whatever, and do anything. Nah, not here. You can't do it here with me. You're gonna be sadly disappointed when you realize black can't beat God's kingdom, buddy. No, sir. I don't care what you do. I don't care how many sports you play. I don't care. You arm wrestle on the weekend. You arm wrestle on the weekend. I don't care about none of that. God's kingdom is going to defeat the African American community for playing with his kingdom. I told you, man, listen, I didn't start this problem. You know what I'm saying? I mind my business. Listen, I'm just letting you know what's going to happen. And it ain't nothing nobody can do about this, bro. Ain't nothing nobody can vouch for hundreds and thousands of people that decided to play a game with God's kingdom. Ain't no one person, ain't no one community or subculture or whatever, some type of celebrity. It's no person that can make amends for this situation. I'm being honest. It just has to be done because I know what you don't know, which is it's a lot of black people that thought it would be cute to use a whole bunch of witchcraft against me. And they paid for it. They paid for people to put witchcraft against me. They paid for this building. They paid for this whole setup. Black people probably pay for all of that. That's why it's unprofessional. That's why it's unprofessional. I can easily tell and see everything, right? They have to pay. I guess they wanted to feel like a head honcho to set all of this up, right? But it's sloppy, it's unprofessional, it's weak. So nobody misunderstands why I say they have to pay, right? You know why, right? Okay. They got to pay. So that's two battlefronts. The main two races of people that destroyed this country was black people and white people. It was those two races of people that destroyed this country. Hispanic and Latinos, some of them just follow behind black people and white people. But the main two races was black people and white people. They the ones that destroyed this country. I don't feel no compassion for them. So they gotta pay what they owe, bro. They like Pookie. They owe, man. They out here like Pookie, bro. They owe. We all know that. We all know it. See, it's almost like a magnet. A magnet. Karma is that magnet attracting them to pay what they owe. I told you, the prophet, we worse than the devil. We on God's side, and we worse than the devil. You play with me, I play for keeps, for real. And listen, if you can't pay, you're going to pay with your life. It's bag or body bag, and I don't care which one. Bag or body bag, I don't care which one. I'm satisfied from either one. If it's a bag, a money bag, or a body bag, whatever one. It doesn't matter. If you decide not to get my money, body bag it is. And it don't matter what Christians you get. It don't matter if you go get Donald Trump. It don't matter if you get the FBI, the CIA. It's nothing they can do. Once they found out the ignorant people you've been, they ain't gonna do nothing about it anyway. Once white people seen all you did, they ain't gonna help you anyway. We taking care of all of this. And guess how we gonna do it? We gonna do it God's way. We gonna do it God's way. So you see the balance. We got things we gotta do over here. We got things we gotta do over there. And we're gonna do it all God's way. It would be so much easier, even with defeating these African Americans that played in my lane. It would be so much easier to defeat them if Trump just left his position. We could even say it more classy like that. If he left his position as a president. How about that? If he just got out the way as a president, it would be so much easier. To handle these black folks too. See, they the type of people that would play like they bad, but then they go cry to other people like you hate them. But at the same time, they play in this certain position against you, right? But then when they go talk to other people, they cry you might as well say they crying. They crying to other people. But they ain't telling the people what they've been doing. They ain't telling the people how they tried to bully you, but you was too hard to be bullied. I'm too hard for you to bully me, buddy. But they ain't gonna tell that part, right? They gonna go tell parts to fit this narrative, like you so against them. Ain't nobody even think about you. You broke. Half of y'all broke. Why would I be thinking about you? What can I get from you? Half of y'all broke. Why would I be thinking about you? As a grown man like me, what can you do for me? Nothing. This how you gotta listen, man. This how you gotta be in this real world we live in, man. You give no mercy. That's the only thing people understand in this country. That's why I survived. That's why I am in my position, because I gave no mercy. That's the only language people understand. If you go out here trying to show love, listen, you'll be dead. You'll be a dead deer. You'll be a dead deer. See, the Americans have no problem with slaughtering livestock. So you think they got a problem with slaughtering you? No. So you can see a beautiful animal and they can still slaughter it. Okay? The beauty of who you are does not determine these people's position. They have become like animals themselves, right? So we fight fire with fire. When we got the upper hand, we make chess moves. We talk about chess moves. We don't show no mercy and compassion because they didn't do it for us. They ain't show you none. Why you gonna show them some? You can't blame God. It's a time of war. That's why I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm always gonna be Gucci. Because I know when it's time to go to war. I know when it's time to go to war. I know when it's time to hate these people. The Bible says it's a time of love, it's a time to love, and it's a time to hate. So then you gotta know when to hate people. The time is to hate these people. And you ain't gotta be nasty and toxic about it. You got healthy hate. Healthy hate is to repel, to rebuke, to refrain from embracing, to boycott, and to protest. Just when they least expected it. We came out like Jack in the Box. But I had to make sure people knew I wasn't racist, right? I'm not perfect. I hit below the belt sometimes. That's how I like to put it. But am I racist? Nah. It's too many telltale signs that I'm not. It's too many people that I deal with that's not white for you to know I'm not racist. But I don't do it for that reason. But I had to prove that I wasn't racist. And I proved that. Now we can attack. You know why? Because you know they deserve it, don't you? You know that, don't you? With all that you heard, you know they deserve to be attacked, don't you? So see, but if I did it too early, you would have, and you seen manifestations, even though it's on God's side, you would have thought like I was some super villain or something. You'd have thought like I was Hitler or something like that. You would have thought the craziest things about me if I would have came out and manifestations started coming and I was talking like this. You wouldn't have gave me the benefit of the doubt. So I had to slow it down. Show my funk where I come from North Carolina, right? show who I am, and then let you see what they've done and who they are. Now I can attack. That's how you do everything classy, because now everybody understand why. Now you ain't thinking I'm racist, right? Right. But see how long I had to do this? And I literally had this mentality. I had to slow down in order to do it right. That's why I'm all about doing it right. Because ain't nobody in the world that know these politics and know the full entirety of the details of these politics is gonna sit up and doubt and misunderstand why I'm in my position against these same people. I told a long time ago, man, I'm not the person to try to be bad with. You know what I'm saying? I'm black myself. I understand that concept. Some people don't. Maybe some of these white folks don't understand. But I know when black people try to be bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it is. I'm the wrong person to try to be bad with, bro. Because I can touch you in ways that nobody else can. And I think people understand that now. Okay? I can touch this community in ways that you couldn't do it yourself. And I think you understand that too. See, this is what happens when trying to be real goes wrong. This is what happens when pulling up on people goes wrong, buddy. This is what happens when turning up on people go wrong. Oh, it go wrong sometimes. They don't go right every time. This is what happens when trying to come for me goes wrong, man. We gonna change this whole community. We already have. And I know anybody with a brain see the changes. You can't say you don't see the changes. Oh, you see the changes. I know you see the change. You gotta be blind not to see the changes going on. I know you see the changes. This is you trying to make a show out of things. When the truth is, man, it wasn't really ever about you. That wasn't. You just involved yourself in somebody else's business, and that's why you in the middle of the situation right now. You involved yourself in my business. It wasn't initially about you, was it? So it wasn't really ever a me and you thing and back and forth, was it? No. You listened to my brother that told you all kind of stuff. And you listened to the Freemasons that was with him that never even had the courage to look me face to face, or any of those other secret society people. They couldn't even look me face to face. Okay, so whether that's their style or whatever, we don't respect that in the real world that we live in. If you can't look a man in his face, which I can, and say the same thing and have the same energy, then you're beneath me as a man. See, a lot of gay people don't really value being a man, obviously. So as out goes their manhood, out goes their adulthood too. They don't care about being an adult. That's why half of them like boys. And many of them are losers that hide behind being gay. It's easy to be gay and just give up your whole manhood, and people don't put no pressure on you to work because you're a little gay dude, and so all you talk about is being gay when you come around your family. They don't never put no pressure on you to work. They don't put no pressure on you to do nothing. They just want you to feel good about being gay. You see the con game? Now ain't nobody gonna ask me to go get a job. They just making sure I'm okay being gay. The family ain't go. When I come around the family and everybody sitting around talking, the main thing in their mind is just me being a gay guy, and am I okay being gay? See that? See how it is? And I ain't gotta talk about work, and I ain't gotta talk about getting no job. I just come around the family, and they just patting me on my back and just making sure I'm okay about being gay. And like I said before, even if you got it together as a gay guy, even if you got it together as a gay guy, you can't speak for all these bums that's gay. And you never will. They're ratchet. They're filthy. They give other people HIV. They're dirty little rats and bastards. I know who they really are. I know they're toxic, and all you think about is love, and they ain't even getting no love. You talking about love? Love doesn't have no. Love is love. That's what they say, right? They not getting no love. Man, these gay dudes killing each other. You can't even trust none of these gay guys that's in being in a relationship with them. They'll kill you. I seen it. Go look on the internet where these gay dudes killing these other gay dudes they in a relationship with. Oh, it ain't what it is. It ain't what it seems is what I'm trying to show you. All that love and banners and all that banners and all, man, they toxic as it comes, man. They killing each other and everything in relationships. Lesbians too. Oh yeah. Remember the lesbian cop that killed her lover and her lover's lover? The lesbian cop. Go look it up. The lesbian cop that killed her lovers and killed her lover. Mm-hmm. See, that's the real American gay community. Toxic, giving people HIV on purpose. Filthy. See, that's the real gay community. You can show me all these poster boys, don't even matter. You know why? It's a drop in the bucket. They are a drop in the bucket compared to everyday gay people that we've encountered. The everyday gay people that we've encountered are filthy, low-life scum. And listen, I'm not throwing out empty insults, man. I can give you story after story. So don't talk to me about no gay community. Because I know the real gay community. The ones, the toxic people who killing each other, while you try to present this love is love community to us. I can show you gay people is niggas just like the rest of these niggas. Don't leave that part out. Gay people being niggas. Oh, don't leave that part out. Lesbian being niggas. Oh, because they definitely that part too. Go ask these black folks how much you see these gay people being niggas now. After the years done went down and the years done went by and things done settled down, you see the nigga in them too? You see it, don't you? That part. So then we ain't giving no passes when we see you being a nigga. Why? Cause you gay? Well, if you so gay and whatever, then why you in my lane? I'm not gay. Why you over here then? Do I sound gay to you? Do you hear my psychology? Do my psychology sound gay to you? See, this is why stuff happens to people. Cause y'all play, listen, cause the truth is, you ignorant and you play around people and then you try to hide, like, hide your hand like you ain't done no wrong to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody, you just like, it's double the nigga. Cause black people do the same thing. they'll play games. And you know what I'm saying? Double the nigga. And then act like they ain't done nothing. Gay person act like, oh, I'm just gay, and I ain't done nothing. Double the nigga. You double the nigga, buddy. You double dip nigga, ain't you? You a double dip nigga, ain't you? You double dipped, ain't you? Gay people double dip niggas, ain't they? And don't he look like that? Like it's double the nigga, right? In other words, it's double the ignorance. It don't seem like that. Think about what I'm saying now. I don't say nothing just to throw empty insults. I never throw empty insults. That's why it hurts so bad. And that's why they can't say nothing. Because I don't throw empty insults. Everything I say got a backbone and legs. And a life in itself. Gay people are double the ignorance in the black community. And that's facts. They sit back catty, talking, yapping, all of everybody's business. Worse than black females. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong about that? Okay, so how they double the nigga? If they in business worse than black women, how is it not double dip nigga? How it ain't a double dip nigga? You a double dip nigga, ain't you? You a double dip nigga. He been dipped in niggerish. He been dipped in nigger sauce twice. He been dipped in nigger sauce twice. Got a good coating, don't he? Oh, I'm serious. You been dipped in nigger sauce twice, ain't you? Got the drip, don't you? Got the drip. Got the sauce. Got the special sauce. Your special sauce is being a nigga. That's your special sauce. That's how you get everybody's attention, ain't it? Being ignorant, ratchet. Your special sauce is being a nigga. That's all it is. And see, you thought you can come over here being double dipped in nigga, playing with me, and you played yourself. And look, how we gonna get rid of all of this foolishness? We all about the escalation of things. See, it would just be so much easier for everything to escalate if certain key people just pass away. Especially if they up in age, you know what I'm saying? Like Trump is almost, 80? I mean, it ain't like you're gonna live another 20 years anyway. You ain't gonna live to 100. So you ain't even gonna live 2 more decades. You ain't even gonna live 20 more years, man. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not ignorant, man. It's when I say this is the jungle, bruh. To take care of that, them ignorant black folks. We don't need no real politician. We don't need nothing real. We need it all to fall apart. That's what I'm talking about. Let it all fall apart, bro. This is the paramount level, the peak paramount level of black on black situations. That's all it is. It just reached its highest peak, and they thought I was gonna sit back and they was gonna kill me and laugh about it and dance and twerk about it. But you laughed too soon, didn't you? I'm pretty sure you laughed when I got an STD. But you laughed too soon, and then COVID-19 came around, and some black people died from it. All I needed was one for revenge. I got several, didn't I? Several black people died from COVID, didn't it? Oh, well, that's revenge, ain't it? See, you didn't think I knew. But see, like I said, I had to go the long way just to make sure that good black people understood where I was coming from. Now, they have no problem with this. Oh, I'm smart enough to know all black people ain't on your side. Not now. Because they've seen me long enough to paint their own opinion of me. That old narrative ain't working no more. I had to go through all of this to get the proper clearance to go ahead and drag you to hell. Because that's why I'm dragging you to. I'm dragging you to hell. And listen, I don't care what no Christian in America is talking about, because me and you know they don't know half of these politics that's going on anyway. They don't know half of what's going on. So imagine me entertaining what they talk about. So when you run to them, make sure you tell them the whole story of what all you did, including putting the STD in my body. We know you did it. We know black people did it. See, this is the big payback, buddy. It's the big payback. That's all this is. You ain't gonna play like you pulling up on me. And listen, I got a street psychology that you don't want to see and think nothing ain't gonna happen to you. See, I'm just a little more higher ranking than you. I played chess. You just played, you was ratchet out here playing tunk, you know what I'm saying? Now look at you. Your cage that you in as an animal, because you act like an animal, I treat you like an animal. The cage you in is dirty, ain't it? Them food stamps, how them food stamps coming? Well, I know March 1st, you ain't gonna be able to get them. If you don't comply to the work program, you ain't getting no stamps no more. Playtime, party time is over, ain't it? Partay time is over, ain't it? No more time to partay, huh? You can't partay, can you? It ain't time to partay, is it? Because I know half of these niggas is going to be too lazy to go get these stamps. You know that. They ain't going to get them. They ain't getting out their bed and going to no work program to get no food stamps, and that's all. They family probably going to try to make them go, and they still ain't going to go. Half of these niggas ain't going to go to get them, go to no program, work program, and get no stamps. They gonna just fall off. They gonna just fall off, and they ain't gonna have no stamps for the house. That's the only thing kept them afloat in their own house, was that they went and paid and went and got food stamps and paid for the food in the house. That's the only way. That's the only way they stayed in good clearance in the house, right? That's gone. So now they gonna start looking trifling. All these niggas sitting around gonna start looking trifling. Oh yeah, you ain't got no stamps no more. You ain't got no cash no more, cause you ain't getting them stamps no more without work compliance. You ain't got no stamps no more cause you ain't doing. Listen, they got you to go. You got to go out there and get in this work program. And now you know what black people gonna do? They gonna start looking at you funny, buddy. Oh yeah. Your own family gonna start looking at you funny. Cause they was cool with you not working. They was cool with you laying around. Long as you was going and buying all them steaks, fronting and everything, buying them steaks. Buying them steaks and potatoes. Buying them steaks and chives and sour cream and chives. You was buying them chives, wasn't you? Making loaded potatoes with steak. That's a good meal, ain't it? Loaded potatoes with steak. With the chives and the sour cream and the chives on it. You had them chives on it, didn't you? No more food stamps. No more partay. No more loaded potatoes with steak. Fronting like you got it right. No more crab legs. You was going to buy your big butt sister crab legs, wasn't you? Oh, you know the type. Big butt Tina. Big butt Tina about her 30s. You was going to buy her. You was buying her some food, some crab legs. You was treating her to crab legs. I got you, sis. I get you some crab legs. Sound like a sucker, don't it? I got you, sis. I get you some crab legs. You get Mom Duke's steak and potatoes, like she regal. You get you get Mom Duke's. You get Mom Duke's steak and potato like she regal, like she a queen. You getting your sister. Listen, you getting your sister them crab legs, what? With the crabs seasoning, you was getting she said don't forget the crab seasoning. Last month you forgot the crab seasoning. Don't forget the crab seasoning. You forgot the crab seasoning last month. I had to use some onions. I had to use some paprika. I had to jazz up my own crab leg seasoning. She entitled to tell. She telling you what to get. She sound entitled, don't she? Don't forget that crab seasoning. But this is the way you kept peace in the house, wasn't it? Oh, you know, black people, ain't gonna be no peace. And I give you 3 months before they start tripping. First 3 months first 3 months on them. Miss them stamps for 3 months. Right? I guarantee you they're gonna start tripping. It ain't gonna start instantaneously. You're gonna make mistakes. When you make mistakes, they're gonna hold it against you. They ain't hold it against you when you was bringing in them stamps. Now, when you ain't bringing in them stamps, they holding everything. They listen. Every little thing is a problem. Your sister ain't getting them crab legs. Listen, she ain't taking. She ain't giving you no cigarettes no more, is she? She ain't leaving you a beer in the refrigerator like she used to at the top of the month. She ain't going to get you a beer for getting them crab legs, right? She ain't getting you no 40 and cigarettes and nothing like that, huh? Cause that's what she was promising you. Oh, what, a 40, a pack of cigarettes? If you get her some crab legs, boom. Oh, she said a reefer, so she was gonna get you some reefer too. Or she gonna get a dub of reefer and a couple 40s, right? Get you about 4 40s for the top of the month. She get you about 4 40s. Get you some reefer and get you a couple pack of cigarettes. And you're gonna hit off with the big clusters of crab legs. You're gonna go in there and get the whole big old pack of crab legs. That's how she gonna pay you back. Sister said a reefer, she gonna get you some reefer, huh? Boom. Now, what you think she gonna do now? Throw you a couple singles and maybe roll you a blunt every once in a while. Smoke it with you. she ain't gonna give you the whole thing. She gonna smoke with you. Listen, I don't condone that lifestyle no more because I don't live that way no more. But I'm just telling you how it is. Now, the struggle begins, buddy. Because I know people like y'all, look, you ain't finna get up out your bed for no food stamps. You ain't finna do that. Your sister might talk half of y'all into going down there. The rest of them, they ain't going down there, man, to get no food stamps. And they gave you that for free. You ain't going down there and going down there into no work program. These men that was getting these stamps. Oh yeah, let's talk about the old school, old heads. Because they went all the way up to 64 years old. All them old heads ain't getting up out of their bed to go get no food stamps. You gonna start cleaning up the house, ain't you? Hey, you stay with your sister, you was getting them food stamps, huh? You gonna start cleaning up the house, but you know that ain't good enough. That ain't gonna ever beat them stamps. What you was doing ain't gonna ever beat them stamps. You can go clean up around the house, everything. That ain't gonna beat them stamps, buddy. Hey, nah, it ain't. It ain't. These dudes 60 some years old, buddy. Listen, you sitting around picking your fro, going to get the food stamps, everything. Listen to your old school music when you got the fan, when you done got the when you done went and got the food. Now you done came back to smoke you a blunt, sitting there drinking and everything. That time gone, buddy. See, this is how you do it. Checkmate, buddy. Because let me tell you something. When you ain't got them food stamps no more, listen, ain't no coward in me, bro. I hold my head in every situation. I'ma say what a nigga need to say. With no fear. Because you played with me, didn't you? You played with my health. It ain't no secret. The black people were the ones that were behind me getting a STD. They was the ones behind it. They sent somebody to me on a dating app, on a dating site. They was the one. Black Freemasons was the ones that was behind it down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I got to look in the face of the same man that did that. And I got to see him see that y'all got COVID-19. Oh yeah. You see how the karma is. I got to look in the face of this man as he's seeing this unexplainable disease being in the community of America. Oh, I got to look in his face and see his reaction. He didn't think it was for black people until black people started dying. He said it wasn't for black people until black people started dying. Oh, it's black people in the grave from COVID-19. We know that for sure. We know that for sure. We may never know how many, but you can do a pretty good estimate with all these ghetto people. You know they wasn't doing the right thing when COVID first came out. They was dying like dropping like flies. Think about it. Halfway washing their hand, halfway wearing a mask, right? What you think happened? They started dropping like flies in the beginning, man. Slipping out there, halfway coughing in people's face, smoking with everybody, drinking with everybody. Think about it. Smoking with everybody, getting shorts off everybody. Some people died from smoking a cigarette from somebody else. Think about it, yeah. You took a short from somebody that had COVID. They was coughing, you didn't even care. Now you sitting there smoking a short off somebody. Boom, gotcha. Smoking a blunt with somebody you shouldn't have been smoking a blunt with. Boom, gotcha. Drinking behind somebody, drinking 40s behind somebody you shouldn't have been drinking behind. Boom, gotcha. It's not a game. That's how long this been going on, man. So, everybody had to see. See, this is how you finesse. This is how you, how do I put this? This is how you romance your enemies. See, when you romance somebody, you take every step. Every step has a classy pronunciation, I guess you could say. It's the same thing in war. I went through each step. I really did. You gave me an STD, I gave you COVID-19. We went down the list of all the things that's been done, and now people agree with me doing everything I'm doing to you. After all, you did start it, didn't you? Yes, you did. See, don't forget to mention when you talk to them white people again, that's behind you, that's endorsing you, like you're an athlete, right? Don't forget to tell them that you started all of this. Listening to, drum roll, niggas. You listen to other niggas, and that's why you follow behind me. Playing with me. Playing around me. Now you see it's not a game, buddy. more than one. Listen, buddy, listen. We just getting warmed up, buddy. Just like Show Enough said on The Last Dragon, you warmed up yet? You warmed up yet? You warmed up yet? Little Leroy better be warmed up, buddy. You warmed up yet, buddy? Listen, buddy, listen. We know you use voodoo, all type of African witchcraft. And that's why Jamaica had to suffer, and these black people suffering up here. You used Jamaican witchcraft, didn't you? Oh, I know you did. You know how I know? Because of all that happened in Jamaica. That storm and everything. What's the odds? That's what it was. See now you realize how far this can go. If you wanted to go this far, we can go all the way down to Jamaica. We can go as far as you want to go. I put $4 million into this situation. What you think gonna happen? Can you guess? More celebrities, more passing away of celebrities. That's gonna happen. See, you didn't think I knew. Some people act like, oh, he just don't know. I knew what was going on. But I knew how I had to go about it. I knew that with them going out there yapping to the culture and going out there yapping and stuff, right? I had to play it just right to where people can see what they was doing, to where they would feel I was justified in my next move. Now ain't nobody got a problem with it. Nobody got a problem with this now. Nope. See, you can't play in the field, and it don't matter if you black or not. You can't play in the field, buddy. You play it in the field. That's how I look at it. Okay, so then, like, ain't nobody playing no games. And that's it. So you ain't gonna find me ever switch up or ever feel any different than what I'm talking about right here. I'm never gonna fold. You can put any kind of pressure. You can put the whole community on me. I ain't gonna fold. I'm gonna still be right here. You shouldn't have played with God's kingdom, bro. You shouldn't have played with us. That's when it was over officially for black people. When you played with the prophet, when you played with Christians, because I'm not the only Christian you played with. You tried to make it almost look like, well, we going against all these these Christian people, instead of just looking like it was just me. But you played with me by myself too long for me to form that opinion and God to form that opinion. Listen, it was just me in the beginning. Yes, it was. It was just me. It wasn't everybody. No, it wasn't. As far as this formation right here, that wasn't projected to all the community at one time. No, the whole black community came against me, and I survived. They played all these lame games, and I survived. Then they added other people to it, and it became this chain reaction. You know, with white people added to it too, and all of that. But before that, you know what I'm saying, I was out here by myself in front of all the black people. Let's not forget that. See, that's a part they ain't telling you. I was out here with all these black people. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, they got some other Christians that they've been gang stalking and everything like that. These other black folks and everything. And, you know, and it's just, you don't know what to make of it. As far as what started it and what it is, but people just thought in a corny way they could play this game of good and evil with God's people, and it didn't work. That's cartoons, that's sci-fi stuff. In the real world, if you try to play good and evil with Christians, how long you think you're going to last? Spiritual people, better to say. How long you think that's going to last? Man, come on, man. It's not going to last long. It's not going to last long, man. You know, and now it's a difficult situation. You know, you might think I'm tripping. You might think I'm going. I held my head. Most people gonna tell you because I ain't changed my tune. I ain't kissed nobody but. You know, I showed genuine love, but there were still issues. But I still showed love. You know what I'm saying? But people didn't look at it like that. They felt like I was coming back and switching sides or talking over there and then coming over there. It wasn't like that. It was a balance, but they didn't see it that way. I had issues, but at the same time, I was cool with those who were cool with me. I was real with those who were real with me, and I think I maintained that the whole time. I mean, if you really check everything out for what it is, I mean, just where my head was at. You know what I'm saying? I never just totally walked away from all black people. I walked away from niggas. But you ain't find me not listening to like good black music, black culture, everything. I stayed intact with that, right? But I didn't deal with everyday black people no more. And you know why I wasn't supposed to do that? I'm gonna tell you why I wasn't supposed to do it. Because they was playing games and they was talking anyway. I was supposed to stay away from them. Now you see, because that's the only thing they could say that was really said was I don't deal with black people. And the reason, listen, I know exactly where it came from, where it spread like wildfire. When I was in Daytona, Florida, with this white woman, she went and told other black people, and that coming from a white woman, what you think they was gonna say? They was gonna think the worst of that. But at the same situation, they seen how I carried. At the same time, they seen how I carried myself right there in Daytona, and ain't nobody say nothing. Nope. Walked right through black people after I said that, and they couldn't get nothing funny off of me. They just couldn't stand that I felt that way. But now you see why I felt that way. Really, I didn't know the entirety of why I felt that way, but because they was gang stalking with information. See, I wasn't that far along myself in understanding what was going on. All I know was how I was being violated and disrespected by black people. I didn't want to deal with them no more. But what you should have done, knowing this is what black people should have done, when you seen what they was doing and you know what they was talking about, you should have understood why I said I ain't wanting to do with black people. When you seen what they was talking about in the middle of me saying I don't have nothing to do with black people, you should have knew what that was all about. Now, if I said that out the blue and there was no politics, then you could say, well, I don't know why he's saying that. You knew why I was saying that because you heard the politics way before I said that day in Daytona to that white woman. Yeah, you ain't beat me, buddy. I beat you. Because, see, you was playing with me first, and that's the bottom line. Okay, so then, like you're playing now, right? Okay, so then, what's somebody gonna say when you keep seeing the same signs? Your intuition gonna tell you, even though you don't know what it's about, but because you got that street intuition at all times, on all levels, on street levels, when you see people moving funny, excessively like that, I was smart enough to say, I don't deal with black people no more. I don't deal with black people. That's what I told her. That's all I said. I didn't say anything else. Now, but that coming out the mouth of a white woman is going to hit different. You see what I'm saying? And so, but the balance should have been, oh, well, I know why he feels that way. I know why he feels that way. We ain't offended by, because we heard all these politics and all these black people talking, so we ain't even offended by that. Instead of feeling that way, you ignored. Some of these people heard this and maybe didn't even know halfway the politics, but they did know, but they ignored it and they just went by my feelings.
And but you knew what my feelings was based on, didn't you? So I still win because ain't nobody gonna sit up there and take all this stuff off of black people just because you heard something from my brother. That's why I ain't want nothing to do with you. That's why I wanted nothing to do with you, because of that. But see, I didn't really know all the details. All I know is you was moving funny so bad, so extremely bad, I didn't even want nothing to do with black people. But now you can see why. But so go back in time when it was the same thing. It was basically the same thing. So now you can see why I felt that way. They took that out of context like I'm just some crazy person against black people. Now you see what I'm saying? But the truth is I was being gang stalked. I was being played with by black Freemasons and black Illuminati members. So now you can see why I formed that opinion. Now you can see why I ain't want nothing to do with them. You see why now, right? Okay. So they caused that on y'all. Okay. So we ain't gonna never give you the pleasure of thinking somebody is thinking all about you. The truth is, ironically, you was thinking all about me. Now, wasn't you? Yes, you was. You was thinking all about me, little buddy. And you still thinking all about me. So I responded right. I just didn't know what it was all about. But my intuition told me I don't want nothing to do with them. Because the real energy was in the air of what they was doing. The real energy was in the air. And why should I have wanted something to do with them? When they going up playing with my name and talking about stuff they don't know nothing about ignorantly. So I was in the right energy. I just told the wrong person that may have went and exaggerated it to other people and made it seem like something else. You know what I'm saying? And then basically it coming from a white girl, you know what I'm saying, that I wasn't even intimate with. I wasn't even with this white woman. You know what I'm saying? I just told her that from day one when I seen her in Daytona, just let her know from day one that's how I'm moving. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't want nothing to do with black people at that time. I'm one of the rare few that can say that. But you know what it was based off of now. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? But nobody don't want to take responsibility for why I even felt that way. Which is you was playing in my business. Charlotte was playing, little stinking Charlotte, North Carolina playing in my business. Never making it to being famous, Charlotte. Barely got a famous people in their community, Charlotte. All that talent but can't make it, Charlotte. Oh, I wouldn't be right if I ain't call you out. You was the main ones that started this. Charlotte was the main one yapping and talking. All them ignorant niggas down there in Charlotte. Sitting on the porch eating chicken. All out of pocket. I wouldn't be right if I ain't called Charlotte out. Because they the main ones went to the black community. They gave the credibility to something they didn't know what they was talking about. Because once people seen Charlotte was talking about it, for New Yorkers, that gave it more credibility. That's what it was. Once everybody heard Charlotte talking, that gave it a little more credibility. But smart people should have said, hold up, he from Charlotte too. Okay, so then we gonna listen to both sides. We gonna balance it out. You know, we ain't gonna just listen to them over here because he from Charlotte too. See how it worked? So you wind up, ironically, giving Charlotte credibility, but then stepping on a Charlotte man at the same time. I can see if I was from Nebraska and on some little strange place in Nebraska. I'm from Charlotte too. So you should have looked at it like that. You should have looked at it, okay, both sides is from Charlotte, so we ain't gonna go with this side over that side, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go listen to what he got to say about it. But you didn't, this is what California said. You didn't send people to me to ask all the right questions. You should have came to me and asked all the right questions. You ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? You just assumed they was right. You just gave credibility to what they were saying over there. And see, you didn't even come to me and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So see, that's why I always say, People that try to be in people's politics, but you can't go the full distance. Listen, man, you a coward. You wind up playing yourself because you can't play the full politician. You wind up being a nigga politician out here yapping and talking, wondering and talking about me, but you ain't hard enough and real enough to come confront me about what you heard. Not one time, and God is my witness, not one time did somebody ever come to me and say, and this is what you might not know, especially up here in New York. You might think I'm running from these people. You might think that. I just left Charlotte last year. No, hold up. I just left Charlotte at the top. Yeah, last year. I just left Charlotte. Okay, so I was on the streets of Charlotte, drinking in Charlotte, hanging in Charlotte. I talked to Charlotte. So how could you keep something going and I already done talked to him? That's where it started at. You know why? Because you're mad for other reasons. You mad because I'm winning. You obsessed with this whole situation, which proves you niggas too. Oh, I already talked to Charlotte. I just left Charlotte. Think about that. Now, how would you feel if this dude told you he was down in Charlotte where all this information came from and they ain't say nothing and they ain't do nothing, they ain't put no pressure on him, they ain't do nothing to him. He wasn't hiding and nothing. He went out in the streets and everything, drinking, hanging out, walking around. Someone would say I was slipping, walking around, everything, drinking and hanging out. Ain't nobody try me. Because they seen how I hold my head and that they seen that I was with a female. That's all they needed to see. Okay, I'm with a female, everything. Then I explained to the dudes on the streets, the politics of the situation. And he found out the whole situation, that this was about a female. See, I'm glad I went back to Charlotte to clear that up, what this really was about. Yeah. So I was chilling drinking with somebody on the block, man. And I told him, like, yes, I knew he was eyes and ears for the streets of Charlotte. I knew that. I could just pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? So when he came to me and him started drinking together, you know what I'm saying? I invited him to drink with me. I had a big old bottle of white wine. So me and him started drinking or whatever. And I told him the whole situation, what it was all about, man. You know what I'm saying? Unlike these other people, most of the conversations I have, even when I'm tipsy, I remember my conversations. I remember the vibe and everything. So me and him was talking to Charlotte, and I let him know the whole situation. Yeah, my brother, man, he was mad about his woman being attracted to me. So the dude that I just met, that I was drinking with, he was like, well, it wasn't your fault, was it? She was attracted to you. And that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So I cleared that up with Charlotte, and I'm glad I did. You know what I'm saying? Because this was an old school dude, so I know he just went and spread that like wildfire. So that's why Charlotte had closure in that situation. They found out what it was all about. See, you didn't know that. That's why, see, man, people say they real. This is for New York people. They say they real. But you listen, you walk around like niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because you moving like niggas, bro. Because you're not really professional. That's why nobody don't respect you. Because you're not professional. You don't listen to all the politics. You don't listen to all the politics. You sit up and listen to bits and pieces like a nigga, and you satisfied with that. But then you're trying to act like you thorough with me, but you're not thorough with the politics. I shouldn't even have to tell you this. If you was really thorough with the politics, you would already know. So that's why I don't respect you. Because if I really wanted to know something about somebody, I would be getting all the information from all these politics if I was really that high ranking. If the test of being really high ranking is that you're going to have all the information from all these politics. You're going to have it all. And you would have found out, oh, he went down to Charlotte. Oh, really? Well, we know this is where all this information came from. Okay, he went down to Charlotte. Oh, wow. So we ain't doing nothing that Charlotte ain't doing nothing. We know. That's where all this stuff came from. He ain't from up here. Okay, so if they ain't do nothing, so how we gonna be doing something? That's real niggas. That's real niggas. That's why I know I ain't dealing with real niggas. Real niggas would say, hold up. He just left Charlotte. Oh. And then he talked to the streets. He was over there talking to the streets in Charlotte. He cleared it all up. They know what it was about a female. Oh, nah, we done with this then. We done with this. We are not, listen, we ain't gonna be out here with a battery in our back in Charlotte, where this stuff originated from, they had a chance to confront this nigga, and they didn't. They ain't ride on him. They ain't try to do nothing to him. They ain't try to spin the block on him or nothing. Okay, so then how we gonna do something? How we gonna be out here? That's what real niggas gonna say. Nah, we ain't finna be out here. We ain't finna be out here. Nope. Because he had the heart to go back to Charlotte. If he was a coward and he really was scared, right? He wouldn't have went back to Charlotte. He went back to Charlotte and faced Charlotte face to face and told them what it was. We respect that. And he went back to the block and told them dudes on the block. And he around there drinking. And he holding his head. I'm in the hood where dudes got murdered right on the block. On the same block. My girl told me somebody got smoked right on the same block where I was drinking at. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was in the hood where people getting smoked. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm talking street politics. I can go anywhere, man, and be like this, man. That's what I'm trying to show you. I went back to the streets. I'm sitting up there drinking in the streets, drinking wine, right on the same block where somebody got murdered. And I'm sitting there at the bus stop drinking with this dude. And I told him what happened. I told him what the situation was, man. You know what I'm saying? And this dude was like, I like your company. I enjoy your company. This old school dude. He seen my vibe was right. I enjoy your company, man. I'm cool or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it was good. We left a good vibe. It wasn't no argument. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing funny said. You know what I'm saying? He heard what I said. I got it through to him. He got my point, everything. Because I could have just chilled with him. But he was like, man, just get it out, man. Just tell me, get it out. Because he see I wanted to talk about it. Because I wouldn't have felt right if I went to Charlotte and nobody ain't know what that was about. I took full advantage of that. When they send a street politician to me, I know what a street politician is. Somebody that's eyes and ears for the streets. I already know, bro. And I know how to play it cool. I know how to play my position. I told him, like, look, man, I'm going to tell you what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? He walked away knowing what it was. Now, imagine I come up here to New York. Put yourself in my shoes. I done cleared that up with Charlotte, right? Boom. This is old school dude way back in Charlotte. So he went to everybody. I'm talking about to the big dogs, the hustlers, everybody. He went to all of that. Not the bums. That dude went to the hustlers, the movers, the shakers. I know that for sure. Because I could tell how old he was and how he represented Charlotte. I know that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So they were just making sure they had a good representative sent to me, man. And I hit the bullseye, man. I let the people know what it was in Charlotte. So that cleared it all up. Now you were supposed to hear that and say, wow, okay, he done cleared it up with Charlotte. We ain't gonna say nothing else about this. We ain't tripping off nothing. But see, all these white folks that got involved in everything and people manipulated to keep this going. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I cleared that up. I gave closure to Charlotte for what this was all about. Because see, they was running around for quite some time, not knowing what this really was. Way too long. They was running around way too long, not knowing what this really was about. That's crazy, right? And so I cleared up my position. You know what I'm saying? I showed my position who I was. You know what I'm saying? What this was all about, man. So imagine me sitting back, man, letting people play in my face like it's about something else. It gets redundant, bruh. It gets redundant and people lack tolerance. I done went and talked to Charlotte. How much more realer can I be? I went back to Charlotte. Wifed up my woman, cooking good for her, cooking her country fried steak, lobster and everything, cooking for my woman like I'm a chef. You know what I'm saying? Making love to her, drinking with her, living with my woman, with a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? So you see my sexuality in full display. I'm with a woman. Me and her one-on-one. I'm me and her in her apartment making love one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Like a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? But they got something to say about that. Because she older than me. Okay, but I met her when she was 55. What black young dude don't have sex with women that's 55 years old? These days. So I met her when she was 55. Okay, so that's not a senior citizen, right? So 15 years later, me and her stayed in contact, and she from the Allens, which means she an Allen woman. You add that to her age and her spirit. She is a Bayesian woman from Barbados. Add that to the equation. So an Allen woman could easily be having sex with a young dude. But see, a white boy don't know no better. You got to go talk to niggas. Oh, an Allen woman, I could easily see an Allen woman dating a young nigga. Cause they like to drink, they like to smoke, they like to chill, right? They festive people, right? You could easily see that. You thinking about black women her age in America. She's not an American woman. Stupid. Stuff that only, that's why you have to have the best politicians to know what you know what I'm saying? To know what's going on. So you would have seen, oh man, this one from the Allens. Okay, so this ain't no run down Charlotte woman. This ain't no run down black Southern. Even if then, it wouldn't have mattered. Me and her both adults, it wouldn't matter. But I'm saying I have to suffer through people thinking I'm liking these older women. I had to go through that. But little did they know that woman tried to talk to me. Because me and her used to work at the hospital. So she gave me her number. So that's how me and her hooked up. She initiated it with me. I talked slick to her because I was a lover boy, playboy at that time. And I could tell she wasn't an old woman. She was working, right? My philosophy is if she's working, she's a woman. She ain't old. She ain't so old she ain't working. So if she can get out and work every day, why she can't have a man? How's she too old to have a man if she get out here and work? That part. Now I can see if she was so old she couldn't work. But if she's still out here able-bodied and working, my rule is, how's that a crime? I don't judge no man that got a woman that's working, buddy. I don't care what nobody say. That's what I'm saying. And then how many times these young women be dating these old dudes? Dudes about to croak over, bro. And we don't judge that at all. Now, a young man do the same thing. He date an older woman. Oh, we don't know if he perverted. We don't know if he perverted. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? I had to work through all them politics. Little did they know, I knew that woman before she was even up in age like that. I knew her back in 2011. Me and her used to live together back in 2011. Okay, we worked at the hospital together. She gave me her number. She came to me. I looked her up later when, like a player gonna do when you fall on hard times, and I looked her up later. You know what I'm saying? Just like a player gonna do. You know what I'm saying? When you and your female ain't together no more, you feel like you want to move on, you're gonna move to somebody, you're gonna think about that person, somebody else that tried to holler at you. So that's how that happened. Initially, I left her number in the locker when I left my job. I ain't even trying to holler to her. You know? But she gave me her number. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that worked. So me and her started chilling on the level, smoking weed, drinking together, everything. You know, I moved in, you know, around 2011. You know, and then from there, we just lived in like 2 and 3 different spots together. Like moving together. That's how we got close. Me and her was moving to different... Me and her had different apartments, living in different apartments together around Charlotte, you know. So then, you know, that's how that worked. I met her family, so it wasn't like I was a hidden secret. Now, put yourself in the whole situation. You done met her family. You done met her kids. Okay, so then that's not some little dirty hidden secret. I'm not some little dirty hidden secret. Yeah, you know what I mean? So if her family is seeing this and my family seeing it, my mom was talking to her before and everything like that, you know. So we were open, everybody knew. So then how you gonna classify that at knowing that my family and her family knew about our relationship? People from my job knew about our relationship. Everything. Because we worked at the hospital, and there was other people that we worked with that she stayed in touch with, and they came and seen me there and living with her. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't hidden. It wasn't a hidden relationship. See, you just didn't know how far it went back. And when she got older, you judged it like as if me and her just met and I chose her at the age she is now. When we had an ongoing relationship before that age. So what you're looking at is a relationship that we had over 10 years. Off and on. When I was in New York, she came up here to see me and everything. We was walking through Harlem together. That's how you know. Me and her was walking through Harlem together, getting Hennessy, going to getting liquor and getting Hennessy, going to the drinking Hennessy, going to the movies, tripping down in Lower Manhattan on 2nd Avenue, tripping on Hennessy in the AMC. Me and her getting Hennessy from Harlem, catching a cab, going to 2nd Avenue, down there by the 30s, by the Bellevue, by the AMC over there on 2nd Avenue. Me and her going in there eating McDonald's and drinking Hennessy in the AMC. We went to see World War Z, which was a crazy movie. We got 3D glasses, drunk tipsy on Hennessy, tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that was my last good time drinking Hennessy, man, you know. So that's how it was, man. That was like 2013 when she was the only person that came up here to see me from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? She came up here to see me. Everything. We got a little motel in Harlem with the mirrors on the wall, on the ceiling and everything, bro. I paid like $60 a night. Crazy. That's when I was chilling in New York, bro. I knew New York. I went and priced the hotels, everything around the way, everything. You know what I mean? That's when I was living in Harlem, though. So we got a room in Harlem and everything. Drinking Hennessy, like I said. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, you know, real dude do real things, man. You know what I'm saying? I talk about it easy. You should know I'm real for how easy I talk about these things, man. I talk about it like it's life like it's supposed to be. You know, so, you know, that's why I just came from living with her. Last year, I went down there and lived with her, and I cleared up them politics while I was down there because she was living in the hood. So I cleared up them politics and everything. You know what I'm saying? And I went back out to California. I came back. Then I came back to Charlotte again, and it's just no excuse. It's just no excuse. I passed through Charlotte 2 times on my way from New York, and on my way back from California, on my way back up here. You know what I'm saying? And it was nothing each time. Now imagine you come out up here and people act like they want smoke based off them politics, and you done cleared it up. It ain't the same situation no more. I done went and cleared up any misperceptions in Charlotte. I went to the source, right? So you a clown if you still on them politics, bro. Straight like that. Because I done went in Charlotte and cleared that up on ground level, not in a motel sitting talking to people and streaming like I'm doing now, or doing videos like I'm doing now. Nah, I went to the streets. And so, see, man, that's just all I'm saying, bruh. And like I said, with my woman making love to her, everything, cooking good, eating good, drinking good, chilling. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, you know. So man, I can't deal with people that's playing games and don't really know these politics, bro. Cause now it's no excuse. When he went back to Charlotte, boom, that's it. Bullseye. You know what I'm saying? That's bullseye, bro. Cause that was the source of the situation. Now, obviously, how is it not? I'm from Charlotte. Where you think it came from? New York. Come on, man. I'm not from here. I'm not born and raised. I'm not born in New York or raised here. So how did politics come from here? Okay, that's for the police. All of them. See, this situation took on a whole new animal. That's what people don't want to acknowledge. You know, I won. I've been won. I won before I went back to Charlotte. I won before I went back. Okay, technically. But it was just icing on the cake for me to go back there and be with a woman and everything, make love, everything, you know what I'm saying, cook for my woman, everything like that, and then and clear up politics. That was icing on the cake. I had already won. Let's make this very clear. You know, this situation took on a whole new animal because people wanted to capitalize off of this, and they was clout chasing off the situation. You know what I'm saying? Clout chasing, and see homosexuals and lesbians, these quirky little goofy little people like that. You know, not all of them are goofy, but a lot of them are. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so imagine a whole bunch of goofies, man. You know what I'm saying? That's don't even know who they are as a person. They don't even know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Confused about themselves, but out here talking about me. You know, that part. Imagine them, and you know they notorious for clout chasing. If you don't know, they always trying to talk about they doing something, they going to school for this or going to school for that, or trying to do this or trying to do that, right? And so they just tried to use this situation as a clout chasing situation. That's what it was. That's all this was. You know what I'm saying? For them, for gay people. Let's clear that up. Because they ain't even know me well enough to know anything about me. No, man. How come I don't got no pictures with no gay people? How come I just left a woman, a real woman? I just told you that. You don't pay attention. I just left a woman. What would you think if you was me? That nobody should be going around talking about somebody's gay and this dude just left a female. I don't have to explain anything else. I don't have to explain my history or nothing. I just left a woman, and I know these gay people know that. Yes, they do. Because they the clowns that want to be part of every part of the situation. Real niggas don't really follow that close like that. You know, so it's going to be the gay little quirky little clown like dudes, like I told you. Some of them like that. That's who's going to be following every step of the way. Right? Every little step of the way. So with that being said, how they gonna see me with a woman? How they gonna see me with a woman? And then come talking about I come back up here and they talking about I'm gay. You just seen me leave a woman. How are you gonna be talking about I'm gay? That's a violation, man. I don't see it no other way. I don't care what the past is. If I chose to be heterosexual and you ain't seen me with a man, you seen me with a woman recently, right? That's all you see me with. Who are you to come out here and talk about what my sexuality is? And I'm a real nigga. And you stirring up New York neighborhoods talking about I'm gay and I ain't been with no man. I just left a woman. That's the difference between homosexuals and fags. A fag is somebody who pursues you. This is my definition of a fag. A faggot is somebody who pursue you and you making yourself known that you don't want nothing to do with them. A faggot is somebody who know you straight and still trying to play with you like you gay. That's a fag to me. If you make it clear that you're not interested in a gay dude and they still pursuing you, that's a fag. That's a fag to me. That's my definition. A faggot ain't necessarily a homosexual. A fag is somebody who playing with a straight man in any form of fashion. That's not your lane. You're gay and you can never be in his lane or in his politics. I don't see it that way. Nope. Because first of all, you hide behind being gay. That's the first problem. You hide behind being gay. You hide behind being gay, which means if it came down to extreme hardcore politics, you're gonna insinuate that you're gay to get your way in the situation or to get the influence over the situation. You can't just come out there and not say you're not gay. And you ain't really got nothing on me. You got to try to manipulate for people to be on your side because you gay. Am I right or wrong? That's why half of the streets was with these gay people, because they gay. You're gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, be humble. You're gonna try to not be a jerk. This is a chance to kind of try to be cool with gay people. But at my expense. New York trying to be cool with gay people, but at my expense. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that on your own time, man. Do that on your own time when you're trying to be cool with these people. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with me and play with my life and likeness because you trying to be cool and be kind of cool and show some kind of love to gay people. Do that some other kind of way, man. But they came out here, man, talking about I was gay, man. That's what God got a problem with. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If he know his servant is not with no men, right? I'm not hooking up with no guys on the internet. I'm not talking to no guys. I'm not flirting with any men. I'm not out here touching on any men. I'm not letting no men touch on me. When I was out in San Francisco, it's somebody that can vouch for that. This dude tried to touch me, and I had to move. You know what I'm saying? I could have got him arrested. That's a fag to me, man. You know, when you do stuff without consent, you're a fag, man. You are. You are. You are. Now, see, if I would have hit him, I would have been the jerk. But he tried to grab my butt. Now, if I hit him, then I'm the jerk. I'm the psycho. You see what I'm saying? But I didn't do that. I just moved, and he didn't like me after that. He got into the politics and everything, started talking reckless and everything, because I didn't let him touch on me. Yeah, man. Right there on Market Street. Everybody know Market Street? Right there in Market and Octavia, right there I was sleeping on the streets right there near the record store, and I think this dude was named Carlos or something like that. Little short, little old Mexican dude, drunk. He was drunk when I seen him, when I first met him. Tried to feel my butt, and I see God seen that. God seen me resist that person like that. Because that's the usual suspects, man, who come after young dudes, and young dudes take stuff, get goods from these people, get money from these people and everything. And you can see the lineup where you could have hustled this person, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Where you could have got things from this person. I didn't do that. And I was on the streets. Okay? And so imagine when you know in the heart of the gay capital, San Francisco, where half of these fags want to go anyway. Imagine you being in San Francisco and you resisting a gay man, but you did it with class. You didn't hit him. You didn't put your hands on him. You didn't choke him out because it was late at night. I could have did anything to that guy. It was nobody around. It was like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And he was drunk. That's what it was. And he was trying to probably, if I would have been down, he probably would have tried to do something out there. You know how men are. Men are different. If I was down, that's probably what he was insinuating. He probably trying to see if I was down with a little something out there. Would have been all back there while I was laying there wilding out. You know what I mean? But I changed my life. You know what I'm saying? And so imagine God seeing me resist a person and still treat him right now. I ain't trip on him. It's been a couple dudes, man, to try me like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Put their hands on me and I ain't asked them to do it. You know, I can tell you a story in New York. I was out on the Super Bowl Sunday. Random dude. About the same height as this dude. Latino dude. Feeling on my butt, man. I'm like, yo, bro, yo. I was like, don't put your hands on me, man. Oh, I'm sorry, man. No, man, don't put your hands on me, bro. Don't put your hands. See, some people is not as cool as me. You know what I'm saying? Those are fags, man. They get a little bit of alcohol in them, and they feeling on people, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they wonder why something happened to them. And then I'm the jerk if I had done something to him. But yeah, he putting his hands on me. And you can't do it with a woman. A woman, you can't grab no woman like that. But I'm a guy, you can just grab me. See how you can look at it? You can't feel on no woman titties and just say, oh yeah, I'm just feeling your titties. Yeah, let me get a little bit, let me grab them cheeks a little bit. Yeah, come here. You can't do that with no woman, man. She'll call the police right there. Straight up. You gotta have consent. You can't be touching on people. That dude did the same, tried to grab me just like this other dude did on another Super Bowl Sunday. You know what I'm saying? That probably like 2024 Super Bowl Sunday. That's what it was. And yeah, that was 2024 Super Bowl Sunday. So you know, man, imagine you doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't out here being sexual. And imagine a community sitting up perpetuating a certain narrative, continuing a certain narrative. And you just left from San Francisco now, the heart of the gay capital. You just left from there. And you ain't do nothing with nobody. You ain't flirt with nobody. You ain't talk to nobody. You ain't let nobody put their hands on you. You know what I'm saying? I never lacked opportunity. That's why I try to tell people, and I was homeless on the streets. I was obviously homeless. I didn't hide it from him. I'm the type of dude, people don't care if I'm homeless. I done had a woman take me off the streets in front of a Family Dollar. And me and her went back to her house and she cooked food, chitlins and collard greens, and me and her made love. A black woman took me home. I'm panhandling in front of a Family Dollar. I done had a white woman take me home. I done had a black woman, white woman take me home. Listen, bro. Listen. I never lack opportunity. That's why I sit back like I do. If I'm being good and I'm not out in these streets, listen, people gonna act like I'm not out in these streets. You ain't gonna play with me like I'm in these streets and I'm not. Talking about I'm doing this, talking about I'm doing, and I'm not doing that. I used to prostitute. I used to get off the streets from selling my body, right? So imagine me not doing any of that, and you sitting up talking ignorantly like I'm in the streets. That's how I'm gonna look at it, as if I'm out there. But I know I'm not. That's why I don't respect them, bro. That's what I'm trying to show. That I don't respect. No. That's just like anybody else, especially that live that life of being in the streets. And then you got niggas out here talking about he gay, but he ain't doing nothing. You see what I'm saying? That's why I don't respect them. That's why. That's where the hate is at right now. Presently. You do not go out here and play with somebody's likeness like that in the community, man. And you don't know what this person is doing. You ain't slept a day in your life with the dude. How you know he gay? You wouldn't know. How you know? And then I gotta go through holding my head like I'm G.I. Jane or something around all these other dudes who are now skeptical because you said that, and I'm not even living that way no more. You see what I'm saying? I had to walk through all of this and gain my respect through it. That's why it's hell to pay, bro. People, listen, man. If you slow and you ain't get what I just said, bro, that means you shouldn't even be out here. That's how I see it. No, you shouldn't be out here, bro. You shouldn't be out here if that went over your head, bro. If a nigga is out here and he ain't having no sex with nobody, and the last person you seen him with was a woman. I know these gay. If nobody don't know them politics, it definitely is them gay people. They knew I was with a woman down in Charlotte, right? I know you knew because you goofy enough to try to go find out. That's how goofy you are, right? So we know you knew. Maybe the streets didn't know. Some real niggas didn't know, but the gay niggas knew, right? Right. Okay, so how you gonna come back up here and see me up here and you don't see me with nobody, but talking about I'm gay, you just see me leave a woman? See, that's what God is looking at. That's what God is looking at, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's playing in my face, bro. That's how you know I'm real and I ain't playing no games. That's the difference, nigga. You don't go tell nobody nothing like that, and then the dude ain't active out here. That's what I'm saying. I could see if I was in the closet. I could see if I was messing around. But I ain't never been no closet type of dude. And everybody know that about me too. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. So I ain't never been no dude out here in the streets and I'm living a double life. Let's get that understood. I ain't never lived a double life once in my life. I was lying and acting like I was straight or whatever. But I'm living a double life. Whatever I was doing, and everybody, it was apparent to everybody. I ain't never had people under the impression, oh, I'm this way, but I'm really that way. I'm too real to be like that, and I'm pretty sure you can feel that. I'm too real to be like that. So you can't say I was in the closet. You know what I mean? Some closet homosexuals, and you can find that in me. Nah, bro, nah. The bottom line is this: you ain't. If I say I ain't living it, I'm not living it. That's the bottom line. If I tell you I ain't out here active with no dudes, I'm not active with no dudes, bro. And that's that. Now I could see if I was saying all of this, even on this video, and then I go turn around and be with somebody. Then I'm in somebody's face, really, really flirting with somebody. Or I'm trying to holler at somebody. You don't see me doing that. And see, that's what God got a problem with, bro. That's what I'm telling you, man. I know what I'm talking about, man. Now, if you an ignorant person, you see that don't even matter to you, which means you should even be out here, bro. And so when you become a casualty, we don't even care. No, man, no, I do not care, bro. I do not care, because how I see it, bro, man, people kill for less. You know what I'm saying? People kill for way less. You know what I'm saying? Going out here, you got to look at it like that, man. When a man ain't living like that, and you going out here telling niggas that, what you think he gonna think? He need to take care of his business. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be paying attention to these gang stalkers. If you don't think I got the eye for it, man, I already told you, man. I got street intuition, so I already know how the gang stalkers move, man. So imagine me being out on my routes and I see these gay dudes in my lane, and my intuition is telling me this is a gang stalker. This is a gay gang stalker. I'm too dangerous for that, bro. I'm too dangerous for that. I'm trying to tell you. I'm way too dangerous for you to be playing with me out here with these gay dudes, putting gay dudes in my path to see if I'm going to holler at them. That's what they trying to do. Man, I ain't nothing. First of all, let me explain something. Dudes always was black men. I'm going to say it how I want to say it. Black men, even a straight black man, has always been attracted to me. Okay? It's not been the other way around. Okay? Black men have been attracted to me all my life. That's not something I can help. Because I'm part Latino, Filipino, and they can tell I'm not all the way black, right? It's that too. I do think it's that. They can pick up on a different vibe. You know, I'm black, Latino, and Filipino. And so black men have always been attracted to me. Okay, my whole life. Okay, so that's just how it's been. Right here in Brooklyn, a black dude told me, yo, if I was gay, you would be my type. He was not joking. How am I supposed to take that? If you were gay, I would be what about me? What about my part where I'm not involved, right? Where if you were gay, I wouldn't be involved. Listen, man, that's my story though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when some straight dude tell you if he was gay, he would be into you. Okay, so that gives you an idea how some people see me, right? You dig what I'm saying, right? That's how some people see me. That's my life, my story, what I have to go through, people being attracted to me, and you know, and they sometimes they straight. You know? So that's just what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, so see, I can tell you, so why you think it's a disgrace to black people, I can show you the disgraceful people that have been, that, you know, if you think homosexuality is disgraceful, I can show you how black people have been attracted to me my whole life. Your own black people. Which then I can form all type of opinions off of that. You see what I'm saying, right? I can form all kind of opinions off of that. And that's okay. That's all. Listen, man. Listen. I'm just putting everything in proper perspective. right? If you don't see me out here in these streets, this brings it all the way home. If you don't see me out here in these streets, bro, man, listen, don't act like you don't see me out here in these streets, bro. Cause I think in terms of the streets. If you don't see me out here, I used to prostitute. I know what it is to get off the streets from prostitution and feed myself, give me a motel room, everything. I know what that is to do that, right? Okay, if you don't see me doing that, if you don't see me active in the streets, don't say I'm out here. Okay? That's a lame nigga. You listen, that would even say that. I'm not no lame nigga. If you don't see me out here in these streets, don't say I'm out here in these streets. That's what I'm saying, and that's what a hoe, a prostitute, or a woman that used to be out here would tell you. If a woman will tell you to that too. If you don't see me out here in these streets, don't be saying I'm tricking. In other words, don't be saying I'm out here turning tricks and you ain't seen me out here in these streets. Cause I'm not benefiting from that. I'm not getting no money off of it. I'm not benefiting from it. You just saying something and I ain't getting no money off of it. I'm not living that lifestyle, but I got to deal with the stigma. You see what I'm saying? I got to deal with the stigma and stuff that come with it. At least if I was taking the stigma, I'm getting some money off of it. Now you see what I'm saying? I'm not benefiting from that lifestyle anymore, right? So then I'm not taking the stigma that comes with it. Makes sense? I'm not taking nothing. I'm not taking no labels. If I'm not benefiting from it, if I'm not living on it, if I'm not living that way, I'm not taking no labels. That's real. And you wouldn't either. You ain't in no relationship. You ain't getting no money. You ain't getting off the streets. You asking for housing. You ain't with none of these dudes living with them. And people sitting up talking about you gay. But you not benefiting from it at all. You not living that way at all, but people trying to put the stigma on you, demonizing you. And that's the way they going about it too. Even gay people going about it that way. I had to check a dude right here up on Utica, man. I was like, man, ain't nobody gay, man. He said this to somebody else about me. Man, I'm telling you, I can't make this up, bro. I'm at a convenience store, like a 7-Eleven. This dude talking about, oh, he's gay. I'm like, hold up, man, hold up. I heard that, man. I ain't gay. What you talking about, man? Then I checked another dude, and then he fell back. He realized. Listen, man. Listen, bro. Listen. We live in the real world. People is deadly. 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 You know what I mean? Bro, please, don't put your mouth on me if you don't see me doing something, man. Don't be a clown out here, bro. Cause but listen, man, I rip somebody's face off, halfway smiling about something you ain't see me do it. Sitting up talking about something you ain't see me do, bro. How much more of a clown can you be? That's what I'm saying, man. And then you wonder why people calling you monkeys. Because it's monkey business. Running around acting like uncivilized animals. Then you wonder why you getting all these names and everything. If these white folks seen what you was doing, they would say them ain't nothing but niggas and monkeys like we thought. Sitting up here playing with this man, he ain't even out here. He ain't even in the streets. This man is spiritual. And y'all playing around him, you exactly like we thought y'all was. Whole bunch of unsophisticated animals. And you can't even get mad. That's all I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. You prove white people right. I prove white people wrong. You prove them right, I prove them wrong, buddy. That's the difference between me and you. You make white people right about everything they saying and everything they think about. White people see me and say, oh man, this dude living spiritual and everything. He ain't even out here in these streets. How they talking about he gay? See, there's a war that the black man must win. The war to prove that he is more than 2/3 of a human being. The war that you are competent in your mind and civilized as a human being. Not walk around like animals and baboons talking and throwing crap everywhere. Talking out of pocket. This proves the white man's narrative about you. Little do you know. For real pro-black people, we have a war that we fight to prove that we're more than 2/3 of a human being. See, I've proven this. If you was really pro-black, you would know that you have a war unique. You have many wars to fight, but you have a unique war according to you being black, where you have to prove that you're competent, more than 2/3 of a human being, and that you are not a ratchet piece of crap. That's a war that you have to win. That's your personal war. You have to win for yourself. You can't piggyback off of somebody else. You can't piggyback off of my reputation. Especially when you've been playing with my name out in the streets. Black people can't live off of my reputation. You got to stand on your own, buddy. See, I won my wars of integrity. I won my wars to prove that I'm more than 2/3 of a human being. See, that's your own test, and you got to graduate with these white people in America. You got to go through it yourself. And it's different ways to show that. It's different ways. It's more than one way. You know, you can show through love and compassion. Some women out here having to clean these white man's buildings show with love and compassion that they're more than 2/3 of a human being. You can show the love that you got that goes way beyond anything an animal could ever have. There's more than one way to show that you are more than 2/3 of a human being. I show with my intellect. I show with my reasoning. I show with my spirituality, which an animal don't have. I'm showing you manifestations. An animal can't manifest spirituality. So see, there's more than one way to show that you're more than 2/3 of a human being. I showed it with my spirituality. I showed it with my intellect, my reasoning. You understand? And you still got it to do, bro. People think you animals. They really mean it. They look at you, they look at your features, and they think you're 2/3 of an animal. Two-thirds of a human being, and think you an ape, literally, and think you really ain't all that, a whole human being. Come on, man, let's be real. Let's be real. They look at our features, and they think we look like apes. They look at our features, and they think we look like animals. And then we ain't got no education on top of that. Look at how they look at us. If you talk to somebody and they ain't halfway got no education, and then you look at their features, and you feel like they look like an ape, right? You got it to prove. You don't, but you do. You should want to prove that you're more than 2/3 of a human being. You should want that. You should want to get that out of somebody's mind. So I've won my wars. I've won my personal wars as a black man. Wars that many of you ain't gonna never win based on the stuff you've done to me. Giving somebody HIV on purpose, bro. Giving somebody an STD on purpose. That proves to white folks that you're just like 2/3 of an animal, man. You're nasty to filthy enough to already have an STD like that. And then you give it to a black man. Your own color. Your own people. That's why they think you animals. That's like an animal community. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. It ain't no coming back from it, bro. That's why, I distance myself, man. I differentiate myself. See, I can be a savage, you know what I'm saying? But I do mine with class. You know what I'm saying? I win my wars with class. That's my motto. Classy while winning wars. I win wars with class. See, a lot of black people don't know how to do it. I win my wars with class. I checkmate all the time. But see, this is why many of us were not able to go to the highest levels of war or anything like that. Mafia, you couldn't be in the mob because you're too ratchet. You're not professional enough. That's why I pride myself on being professional. People think professional applies to just a vocation. Professional, you got, even if you're a killer, you're an assassin. If you're an assassin, you have to be professional or you're going to jail. You have to be a professional killer. You have to be a professional soldier. You have to be a professional prostitute. Even if I'm not condoning it, but if you was even a prostitute, you would have to be professional in order to stay out of jail. You can't be all out here obvious. All out on the block like the police don't know what you're doing. Unless you're in certain neighborhoods. But if you just kind of working in a certain side where it really ain't no body out there like that, then you got to kind of blend in, you know, to get them Johns out there. You got to kind of blend in and look like, you know, you just enjoy, where they can't incriminate you. Like you just enjoying your day, you just having your little tea sitting there, but really, you know, you lining up the Johns. You know what I'm saying? You trying to hook somebody. You really are a hooker. You trying to hook somebody. You know what I mean? So, but you got to be professional with everything you do. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're a killer, you got to be a professional killer. So when I say professional, I'm saying professional in any category, even a dope drug dealer. You can't be, if you ain't a professional drug dealer, you're going to be back and forth to jail. Then you got some professional drug dealers that ain't never went to jail. Some people ain't never went to jail for selling drugs. That's hard for people to believe because they so used to seeing people go to jail because they're unprofessional. If they just tighten up a little bit and made some adjustments, some people wouldn't even be going to jail for selling drugs. But they trying to be, you know, hood rich. I mean, you know, hood famous and all of that. Ghetto fabulous. You know what I'm saying? Putting yourself all out there, man. You know, instead of just being professional, man, just being low key about it. You know what I'm saying? People can't resist that fame that come with it, with the streets. You know, and you wind up, everybody and their mama know you sell drugs. They don't even know you. I mean, you don't even know them, but they know you. That's how people get robbed, everything, all, you know, home invasions, everything, man. Everybody know your name. People out there talking drunk, talking about you and everything, talking about where you at and everything. Home invasions, boom. Hit you with a home invasion. Now, people that came up in your house and robbed you. You know what I mean? So, man, it's all about being professional. I don't care what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't have no respect for half of these people out here in America, because half of them are not professional with nothing they do. Ain't nothing professional about them. And I prove you could be professional in anything you do. Anything. Even sex, you got to be professional with sex. You got to know what you're doing. Cooking, you can be professional as a cook. You cook at home, you cook good, professional. Nobody don't get sick. You know what I'm saying? You ain't scratching in your head and cooking and everything. Then somebody gets sick. I'm saying there's people like that. Don't wash their hands, messing with different meat, playing with. They ain't go back to cooking this and handling this, and you've been handling meat. I mean, there's some people like that, bro. But me, every time I'm cooking this, I'm washing my hands. Every time, every move I make, I'm washing my hands. You know what I'm saying? It's just. I can show it can be anything, bro. If you're not professional, you know what I'm saying? If you're not professional, you lose respect. It don't matter what it is, man. I don't care what it is. A professional driver, you even get in the car. If you're not a professional driver, nobody's getting in that car, bro. Nobody's wanting to ride with you. You just ride like you want to ride. You ever been around somebody? They riding too fast. They hitting the corners real fast. Like, They speeding too much. Some people got you on edge when you drive with them. Everybody done been like that with one. Everybody done been around one person like that. They got you on edge the whole time. You can't wait to get out the car. Like, man, unprofessional. Can't even drive professionally. I mean, they almost close to hitting people. Like, man, how they drive like this all the time? This is what you gonna be thinking. Well, I get in the car, I can drive too. Just in case you thought I was one of them people that, them okie doke people that can't. And this is no disrespect, but we all got some people in our family that can't drive a car. It's no secret. I can drive a car. Okay, so you might not know that about the prophet. I can drive cars. I know how to drive good. You know what I'm saying? Everything. I had my license down in Florida, so you know I was driving cars down in Florida. See, if you don't say this, people will play you like you ain't never done those type of things. They'll kick you while you're down. They'll see you with a car. They'll think you probably you probably ain't even got a license. And the only reason I don't have my license because it was in Florida. I had my driver license in Florida, in Tampa. You know what I'm saying? And it expired and all of that, and that's basically what happened. But I can drive and everything. I started driving when I was like 14. Yeah, I started driving when I was 14. My grandmother used to let me drive her car. So I started driving on my own when I was like 14, 15 years old. So that's how you know how competent I am as a person. I started driving when I was like 14 through 15. So I can drive. You know what I'm saying? You never forget how to drive. Something you don't ever forget. Put the left foot on the side. Put your foot on the brake, turn that ignition, put the car in reverse, let your feet up off the gas, look around for blind spots and all of that. Look around, roll out. Put the car in drive when you come out. There you go, buddy. Work that one foot, brake and gas. You gotta have that good reflex. You get used to it. So man. See, some people didn't know all of this. They kick you while you're down. You know what I'm saying? They kick you. They don't really know. So people just made a show out of this situation, and it's just like, if you don't think I'm gonna get revenge, you tripping. If you don't think I'm gonna get revenge, you definitely tripping. Definitely tripping. You know what I'm saying? I mean, put yourself in my shoes. Put yourself in my shoes, bro. That's all I'm saying. Put yourself in my shoes. This person just went around, because I left home when I was 18. I left my mom's house. That's why I'm like this. I'm fiercely independent. I did what parents dream of. Your kids getting out the house at 18. I left my mom's house when I was 18. Then I left and went to California 2 years later. I went to LA 2 years later. So after I left my mom's house, I left my home state at 20 years old and went to California. Over there, I was working, everything, and, laboring. You know what I'm saying? And I went through the shelter system for the first time when I was 20. I went up to Seattle. I lived in Seattle, so I lived there. And so I went from LA to Seattle. know what I'm saying? I lived in Seattle. I like Seattle. I lived there for a whole year. I turned 21 in Seattle. My 21st birthday, I was in Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Seattle, Washington. You know what I'm saying? So I've been on my own since I was like 20, 21 and seeing the world, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't up under my mama like that. I wasn't no mama's boy. I never been a mama's boy. I love my family, but a mama's boy, are close to my family. I just left when I was 18. Then I went to the West Coast when I was 20 years old in California. That's why I always can go back to California. I don't have no fear of it because I went there when I was 20 years old. I was still basically a kid in California, in LA, in Los Angeles. So, then I went to Seattle right after that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, it's just, I've been on my own so long, man. It's funny if somebody think I'm a man child or I'm somebody to play with, man. I've been on my own so long. I'm fiercely independent. I stand on my own. And I've been like that since I've been 18 years old. I left my mom's house. I went to the West Coast when I was 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I've been basically on my own. I ain't never settled back home. I ain't never stayed back home. I stayed on my own since 18. I fell on hard times, but I always go back out. Go back out on my own. So for me, man, it's just like when people play in my lane, like I said, I'm willing to die for mine. I'm willing to die for, because I'm built like this. I'm a grown man. I've been on my own for a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm fiercely independent like I am. If they ain't ready to bring it on, man, then don't act like it's a war. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, man. Straight like that. If you ain't ready to fight today, then don't act like you ready to fight today. Stop playing with games. Stop playing games. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you know what I'm saying? People gotta love it. You know what I'm saying? My story is I left home when I was 18, not getting kicked out and then coming back. Nah, I left without getting kicked out. First of all, I left my mom's house just on my own. So that's a weaning process. You can never do that again. Once you leave your mom's house and you feel those tender feelings and you can't, even if you fall on hard times and you leave again, it ain't gonna ever be the same. So I left home when I was 18. I went to California when I was 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? And so, but me being a musician, that was what put the battery in my back. I had all this talent, you know what I'm saying? So I just figured I'd go to the West Coast and Seattle, and I just got used to being out on my own, you know what I'm saying? But it started with the music, you know what I'm saying? Going out there for the music and everything. I definitely have talent. I've been heard by a famous person. They validated my talent, everything. I got receipts to prove it and everything. You know what I'm saying? So basically, that's why I traveled in the beginning. That's how I came out to all these cities and came out to New York and everything. It was all about my music. You know what I'm saying? Then I just started living life. I just started living. You know what I'm saying? Out in these places on my own, And so that's my story, basically. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I lived on my own since I've been a teenager, you know what I'm saying? And that's why nobody holds my hand. I do everything for myself. That's why I'm like this. I don't depend on, it may seem like I do, I don't depend on nobody if you pay attention. Not for emotional support. That's why I'm like this, because I've been on my own so long. Not in a mental way, just me being on my own. It's just, how else can you say it? It's independence. It's called independence. Emotional independence, mental independence. I'm not dependent on a good couple friends to survive. In the real world, when you move to a big city, you might not have no friends. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn to get along by yourself and enjoy your own company and enjoy your life by yourself. So I became a master at that. Going to a different city, I don't know nobody, so I start out with myself before I get any friends, So imagine going from city to city and just starting out with yourself in each city. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna learn to enjoy your own company and enjoy yourself in your own space without having to have anyone there with you. So that's what these little lame boys don't know. I'm fiercely independent. I left my mom's house before I was even legal to drink. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, I was out in the world before I was legal to drink. I couldn't even vote. I wasn't even legal to vote or drink. Well, is it 18 to vote? Yeah, it's 18 to vote, I think. But not legal to drink. So man, that's what these little retarded dudes don't know, man. I've been out on my own for a long time. You know what I'm saying? They didn't leave home when they was 18. You left home when you was like 28. And that's about right. That's about right. About 10 years after. You know what I'm saying? Half of these dudes left home when they was 28 years old, bruh. You left home when you was 28, bruh. I left home like a parent's dream when I was 18. So if somebody else was there, it wasn't my fault. If somebody else was in the house, it wasn't my fault. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always, even besides that, I was always trying to get back out on my own. That's just been me from day one. From the time I was 18, then I went to LA when I was 20 years old. So that's why I ain't scared of nothing, because I was halfway a kid in California. You got to look at it like that. So I was 20 years old in Los Angeles. I couldn't even drink legally, and I'm over in LA. So most people say, well, when you was a kid on the West Coast, running around, you know what I'm saying, ain't had no money, you know what I'm saying, living in these shelters and stuff, around these old heads, around these old people and everything. And at that time, I was like, when the shelter system was different. It was kind of almost like the 90s, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no young people in the shelter. Now everybody, all these kids, these young dudes in the shelter, because their parents kicking them out. They don't want to live by their parents' rules. They don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? That's why they in the shelter. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do nothing. They get kicked out. Or they try to run their mom's house or their dad's house and they wind up getting kicked out. So it's so many people. It's kids now all in the shelter system. But when I started, I was always the youngest dude in the shelter. Always. It would always be, every once in a while, be a dude by my age. But sometimes he might be a little bit older than me. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately. So for me, bro. So for me, I have to speak for myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't one of these young, immature people that these man-childs that didn't grow up. They ain't never grow up. Me and you two different animals, man. We definitely two different animals. Okay, I don't care nothing about them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they cripples. They cripple people. I feel that way because how you in other people's business. A grown man, it's not in a grown man's protocol. It's not in a grown man's protocol to be in other niggas' business. I ain't never known no players that's in other niggas' business. It's just not becoming of a real man. It's not a masculine trait to be in another nigga's business like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? A sucker gonna be in somebody else's business like a female, talking and yapping and talking, right? Real niggas ain't gonna be in nobody else's business. You know what I'm saying? It's not becoming of a real nigga. You ain't gonna see that kind of behavior. I ain't never seen no real nigga just talking about a nigga, just keep talking about a nigga and all this stuff and worried about a nigga. I ain't never seen no nigga act like that I've been around. Now maybe you have. Maybe you have. Maybe you seen maybe you seen a nigga just like but see, them are niggas. Them are not real niggas. They act like
Females, we don't pay them no attention. Like I classify them as females to me, because I know how real men think. See, I was raised by masculine men. That's what people don't know about me. So I know how masculine real men think. I sit up like a man and think like a man. So my head is on like a man. So if I hear little dumb dudes like that, see, my fathers would consider them niggas. Them little boys, them boy niggas. They don't consider them real men. They don't consider no people like that real men. And see, I started to form that same opinion. That if you in another man's business, you ain't really got nothing going for yourself. You ain't got no money, and then you find the time to still be in another nigga business. You got too much time on your hand. That's what it is. You got too much time in your hand, and we don't esteem you as a man or an adult. If you're gay, you're still not an adult to us, because you find yourself in another man's business, and ain't no real man gonna find his way to it. Can you imagine a real masculine man? Yeah, the dude over here is doing this and that, and it's not the coming of a masculine man. A brawny, muscular man. Can you imagine him sitting up? Yeah, this dude and there. He might complain about some things about somebody, right? But it's gonna make sense. Not just scheming around, looking on a dude. Oh yeah, this dude. It just lowers you down. You feel me? It just lowers you down to where you ain't got the head of a man. And see, you didn't know that. You thought I was in this building. You thought I was in this building, and I was like a little boy, kind of these little lame boy-like dudes. Nah. I listen. I just put myself in full-time war because they played in my lane. And see, even out there now, man, if I step out there now, them the type of dudes that won't face you in the real world. I don't acknowledge people like that. I don't acknowledge people like them. Ain't no way in the world you could ever get my attention, because I don't esteem you as my likeness. See, the reason why I talk like this, because I've been everywhere. I lived in California. Now, can you imagine a New York dude playing with me? And I done lived in California, Los Angeles, and I know he's scared of Los Angeles. But yeah, he can sit out there like he in my politics, like he hard as me, and he not. You know what I'm saying? How he hard as me, but he ain't been to LA. He ain't never lived in Los Angeles. So you just as hard as New York. That's it. I'm hard as the whole country. I've been everywhere. I lived everywhere. Okay, so then can you imagine me sparring with locals, sparring with some locals? It's not gonna happen, bro. That's niggas. That's niggas trying to match you with somebody they think better than you or tougher than you, but then that same person hasn't done what I've done. So you got two type of achievements. You got grown man achievements, where the only way you're going to fight a grown man in everybody's eyes with these real women, these real beautiful women that's sitting back. I'm talking about these real cats, kitty cats. These real women and real men. They ain't respecting nobody that ain't done the same thing you done. So if you ain't never been to LA, you ain't never been in the West Coast, you ain't never leave your mama house until you was like 39. I left my mom's house when I was 18. I went to the West Coast when I was 20. And niggas couldn't say I was autistic or none of that either. I'm a musician with talent, because the first thing you're going to tell you when you move around, that dude might be autistic. That's a white boy's answer. You just can't stand the fact that I've moved around. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in my right mind. See, that they want to take that from you. When you done moved around so much, they think you're crazy. Nah, I ain't crazy. I just got talent. You know what I'm saying? I got talent, and I just tried different cities. I kept trying different cities. And so that's my claim to fame. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of different cities. Because I started out young. Like, I left home when I was 20, went to California. You know what I'm saying? So, the West Coast is really home in a lot of ways. It's always going to be home, because that was one of my first cities, LA, Los Angeles, I went to. And I was only, 20 years old, and people still ain't been to Los Angeles. So imagine me
bowing down to somebody, and I did it when I was a kid. When I was like 20 years old, I went to Los Angeles. You were scared to go to them kind of places, especially at 20 years old. You wasn't going to no LA. So that's why I don't take anything off these suckers. That's why I don't. That's why I don't take nothing off of them. You know what I'm saying? They act like suckers. They yap and talk, and they put their mouth on people they shouldn't be putting their mouth on. You know, and that's just it. You know, I ain't gonna never see nobody like that as my equal. That's not my equal. And it's not that I'm better than somebody. It's because they lower than me. Makes sense? They lower than me. It's not that I'm higher than them. They're lower than me. Makes sense? It's one thing to put yourself above people, and it's one thing for people to put themselves beneath you. So that's why we're not equals, because you put yourself beneath me. I didn't raise myself up. You put yourself beneath me. Okay, so that's like I said, my son is 19 years old. I got a son that's 19. Can you imagine I'm letting people size me up like you even matter to me? You know what I'm saying? I got a grown son. My son is a grown man. You think you dealing with somebody that's in their 20s. You sizing me up wrong, sucker. That's what I'm trying to show you. I'm saying I don't care nothing about your opinion of me. I'm a grown man over here. My son is 19 years old. You do got to say it, because people, with their actions, they insinuate that you beneath them, or you like a BG, like I'm somebody you can try. Like you tripping. You tripping hard, little buddy. I don't care how old. I check an old head. I done beat an old head down in the streets. I done beat somebody old enough to be my daddy. I beat him down in the streets. That's what my reputation is. I beat down an old head. I don't have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Because if you one of them dudes that think because you old, you know what I'm saying, you can come flex on me, you tripping. I'll beat you down in the streets if I got to. I done proved it right here in New York. There's somebody that can vouch for that. There's somebody can tell you. This old dude put his hands on me. One of the best fights of my life. I tore him apart, man. He deserved it. He put his hands on me. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, I stand on my own. I do not deal with black people like I used to. This is why. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself beneath me, so what I supposed to do? I ain't gonna lower myself because you lowered yourself. Nah, that's you. That's you. You put yourself in that situation. So I ain't gonna bring myself down to make you feel better about yourself. When you done lowered yourself and made yourself a roach, I ain't gonna lower myself to make yourself feel better, to make you feel better. Your opinion don't matter. That's what I want you to hear. Your opinion does not matter. That's what a grown man's supposed to tell you. Your opinion don't matter to me, buddy. You don't put no food in my refrigerator. You don't put no clothes on my back. You don't put no drawers on my butt. Your opinion, that's how a grown man gonna tell you. You don't pay no bills in this room. I don't care nothing about you. I don't care nothing about your feelings or nothing. See, that's how a grown man just cut it on down like that. I don't even gotta get into no politics. Now I told y'all I went through all these politics. Take heed to what I'm saying, man. I already been to Charlotte, everything. I'm talking about the real ones, man. I already been to Charlotte, everything. Charlotte I already know. But like I said, man, I left home when I was 20 years old, went to LA. Take heed to that, New York. You know what I'm saying? Take heed to that, boy. Because half of y'all scared to go to LA on foot right now. I did that when I was 20 years old, bro. So I was basically a kid in California. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's why I'm like this, and people can't believe it's real, because I left home and I did all this stuff when I was a kid. That's the best time to go. When you young, when you throw yourself out there in the streets, that's the best time to go. Not when you get old and you got all these apprehensions and stuff. Now you scared to live. You know, you too cautious to live when you get old. You think about everything. When you young, you almost a little bit stupid where you don't care. You know, you go do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I did it when I was young. I went out there when I was young. So that's why I got the heart. That's why I paid the cost to be the boss. That's how I paid the cost to be the boss. You You know what I'm saying? Just in case you think it's fabricated, man. Like I said, I was 20 years old. I left my mom's house when I was 18. I got out of my mom's house when I was 18. Even though I fell back on hard times, I weaned myself from my mother when I was 18. I weaned myself from my state when I was 20 years old, buddy. That's how I'm built. That's my energy. You can't do that. You can't be me. You didn't leave your mom's house when you was 18. You didn't leave your state when you was 20 years old and go to California, go to LA. You could never have my energy. That's why they can't have it. You can't do that. You can't do that. I did it when I was young. That's what I'm saying. I did it when I was young, bro. That's what so I grew into a man from that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be me. You can't. You could try to act tough, but you ain't do what I did. You know what I'm saying? That's all, man. A black man I'm gonna see through that. You ain't do what I did, so I don't care nothing about your opinion or what you talking about. You ain't gonna never get on top of me in a real man's world until you do what I do. Remember that, buddy.